What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto movie. What if Naruto got hit by a strange jutsu which turned him into a 2-year-old baby? If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description box for original creato of this beautiful creation. Oi, Naruto, where are you going? Sakura's voice booms. I'm chasing the bad guy. I yell back. That's not part of the plan. Fall back. Sakura yells. No way. I'm not doing anything half-assed. I yell. The enemy I'm facing with Sakura right now is mysterious. He hasn't used any ninjutsus or genjutsus. He took a scroll off me and starting running away. That scroll is important. I need to give it back to Granny Tsunade. The man I was chasing suddenly turned around and made a weird hand seal. He started muttering something and I freeze. Sakura, what's that hand seal the guy is doing? I ask and turn around but I don't see her. Sakura? I call again. Where'd you go? I yell out. Don't take this personally, the weird guy says, and I immediately put my attention back on him. He produced a bright light and I felt blind for a second. What the hell did he do? I yell in my head. I brace myself for impacting of some sort of burn or cut, but nothing came. I slowly open my eyes and look around me. Hey, everything got big. What happened? I looked down at myself and realized I was a baby? What the hell? I tried to yell but all that came out were baby gurgles. What the hell? It was that guy who did it, wasn't it? Oh, he's going to get it. I start throwing a tantrum. Weed, ego, Emma I am. I yelled to myself. Where'd he go? Let me at him. A child? A deep voice enters my hearing range. I turn around and look around but see no one. A cloaked figure crouched down in front of me. Itachi? 3 whisker marks on each cheek? He mutters. I freeze. He's going to get me. No. I thrash around and start shaking in fear. Damn this tiny ass baby body. I need to run. No. Don, ouch me. I yell again as I try to crawl away. But my clothes didn't seem to shrink with me, so I practically ran out of my clothes and started crawling away naked. Whoa, hey. I hear Itachi say as he picks me up in one scoop. I push his hands but they don't budge. Let me just take a quick look at you, Itachi says. I wave my hand around my face and duck my head. Hey, are you scared of me? Itachi asks with a soft tone. I start tearing up. No shit. I nod hesitantly. I think I have a good idea on what happened and who you might be. But you're going to have to come with me for me to tell you how to break that jutsu, Itachi says, his face close to mine. I start panicking. What is he going to do to me? Someone help me. I am going to get raped. Hes a pedophile. No, I don't want to die a virgin. I begin to cry and sob harshly as I thrash around in his grip. I'm not going to hurt you. Why don't you calm down and think properly for a bit? Itachi says. I stop thrashing but I continue to cry. Listen, I can't hurt you because of 2 reasons. 1, you aren't your original age and that will prevent the tailed beast extraction thingy. 2, I'm not cold-hearted and I don't go around killing innocent babies. He says. Liar. I shake my head quickly but Itachi sighs and just continues walking. Let me go, you pedo. Naruto, he says sternly. I stop everything and tense immediately. I don't know why but getting yelled at by Itachi hurts. I sob quietly. He sighs once again. Sorry for yelling, Naruto. Nay, come on. Stop crying. I won't hurt you, please trust me. He says, holding me by his chest and stroking my hair. I grip on tightly to his Akatsuki cloak and soften my wails. Wait, he knew my name. Whatever. If he doesn't kill me then I'm fine. See? You're fine. Itachi continues stroking my hair. You know? That doesn't feel so bad. I lean my head against his chest and I feel my eyes closing by themselves. Itachi seems to have noticed as well. You've gone through quick changes today, haven't you? You can sleep, Naruto, Itachi says quietly. Yay, I should sleep. I let my eyes close completely and let sleep take over me. Itachi's POV. Baby Naruto's chest heaves softly and I can tell he's asleep. He must be cold. I put my cloak around him and held him with one hand inside, leaving my left arm out. I should take care of him and make sure this damn jutsu gets broken. Quickly and quietly I make my way towards the Akatsuki's secret base. I enter swiftly and head towards my room. I shut the door and placed Naruto on my bed. He stirs a bit. I put my cloak on top of him and make sure to cover his entire body but also letting air through. This way, if someone walks into my room, they won't see Naruto, All they'll see is my cloak. I sit on a chair and slump down in it. There are a couple of knocks on my door and I get up to see who it is. Kisame. What is it? I ask. Samahata has been happy ever since you got back and he seems to be overly excited. What happened? He asks. Nothing happened. Leave. I say. You sure? Are you hiding someone in there? He asks and steps inside my room. When he sees no one, he shrugs and steps back out. Whatever then. He must be getting hungry. Sorry about that, Itachi. He says and takes his leave. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding and closed the door in a hurry. My cloak moved a bit and slipped onto the floor. Tachi? Baby Naruto asks with tears in his eyes. What is it, Naruto? I ask. If I wasn't in a dangerous hideout with S-rank criminals and didn't have to act bad, then I would have cooed him. Kazama gone? He asks. Kisame gone? Yes, Naruto. Kisame is gone. I answer. Sayada, hungry foe, Jaguara, chakra. He asks. Samahata hungry for chakra? Yes. It's because of the 9 tails. I say. Zowie fo, Ausin tuable. He apologizes. Sorry for causing trouble. I smiled gently. It's fine, Naruto. It's my responsibility for all the suspicion because it was my idea of bringing you back here. I say. Baby Naruto looks down and clutches the bedsheets. Tachi. He calls. Yes? I ask. Why am I a baby? He asks. Why am I a baby? I'm not sure. I say truthfully. He pouts. For now. Why don't you pretend to be a kid and just in case the Akatsuki realize you're the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, then just make them believe you lost memories. I say. Naruto freezes. Why, IG to me, them? He asks with fear on his face. Wait, I gotta meet them? I think it's for the best. So you can roam around. I say. No day scree. Naruto winces and crawls under my bedsheets in a hurry. No, they scary. I nearly cooed. Nearly. They aren't that bad. I doubt they'll kill a child, much less a baby. I say. He seems reluctant at first but slowly comes out from under the blanket and nods. Let's go to Pain first, I suggest. He continues to pout as I pick him up. I knock on the leader's door and I hear a faint, come in. Itachi, what did you need? Pain asks. He then notices Naruto. Kyuubi Jinchuriki? He asks with surprise in his voice. Naruto starts to shake in his presence and clings onto me. He's lost his memory. I say, hinting for him to play along. Naruto looks at me then smirks. I mentally groan. What's he thinking of now? Daddy. Who's Dad? He asks and points a finger at Pain. I twitch slightly, not enough for Pain to notice but enough for Naruto to notice. I can hear him grinning now. What the hell is he thinking? Out of all things, uncle, brother, cousin, he just had to choose, Daddy. I see what you mean. Well, we can't extract any type of beast from him right now anyways. So, Itachi, he is under your care from now on. Just make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Pain sighs. I nod. Go and introduce him to the other Akatsukis. He then says, hi, I say and walk out. As soon as I was out of hearing range I looked down at Naruto. You, I managed to say. Wrong daddy? He asks. Arg fine whatever. I sigh. He giggles. Fricking giggles. I notice everyone was in the living room right now and decided now was the best time to introduce them to Naruto. I open the door and everyone looks at me. Then notices Naruto. Itachi, did you get laid? Deidara asks. No, I say. Naruto snickers quietly, only I could hear. Whose kid is that? Kisame asks. Samahata behind his back rolled onto the floor and comes closer to Naruto. Oh god, he's going to get his chakra. I pull Naruto back and gently push the sword away. What the hell? That's why Samahata's happy? Kisame yells. Samahata comes crawling back to Naruto and this time Naruto whines. Daddy sword being a meanie. He says. Daddy sword being a meanie. Everyone twitches at what he said. Did he just call you daddy? Can I use him for Jashin-sama? Hidan asks. Absolutely not. I say. For the daddy part or Jashin-sama? Hidan chuckles. Jashin-sama. I say. So he calls you daddy? Sasori asks. Yay. He's lost his memories and seems to have thought I was his father. I manage to say without yelling. They all look either bored, amused or don't care. Oh hey it Mr. Sharky. Naruto laughs and points a finger at Kisame. Kisame twitches in anger while the Akatsuki members try not to laugh, except for Deidara. Bawahahaha. Deidara rolls on the floor and clutches his stomach. Naruto. You can't call him that. I sigh. Kisame calms down immensely. Call him Mr. Fishy. I finish. Otai daddy. Naruto giggles, but only I knew the true evilness those gifts carried. Te oi. Go fuck, Kisame starts. Kisame. Not in front of Naruto. I say loudly. He freezes immediately and stops all anger aimed at anyone. I see Naruto give me a slight eye roll. Naruto. These guys are Kakuzu, Sasori, Kisame, Hidan, Tobi, Deidara and Zetsu. Our leader, Pain and Konan are at the very top of this building. I explain. Otai. He nods. Kakuzu and Sasori are watching our interaction but chose to not care about it. Naruto stares at them. Daddy down. Naruto asks. I place him on the floor and he crawls towards Sasori and Kakuzu. They both cock an eyebrow. Naruto tugs on their shirts. What is it, kid? Kakuzu asks. Will you play with me? Naruto asks. Will you play with me? They have shocked expressions on their faces for a while. No, go play with your daddy. Sasori says. Wanna play with you. Naruto says and huffs cutely. But wanna play with you. This is amusing. Kakuzu, Sasori. I advise you play with him or else he'll throw a tantrum. I cough. Arg fine. If you throw a tantrum I'll stop playing with you. Kakuzu says. Naruto claps happily. He climbs on top of Kakuzu's lap. Naruto has a death wish. Kakuzu, who was shocked at the action, stood up immediately, causing Naruto to fall, but before he got the ground, Kakuzu caught him in time. Naruto blinks before tearing up and sniffing. What's wrong with the kid? Why is he crying? Kisame asks. Yay, he didn't fall onto the floor, it shouldn't hurt. Deidara adds. I think it's because of the shock. Sasori says. I sigh before walking forwards and taking Naruto back into my arms. Naruto. You're fine now. Kakuzu protected you. I whisper as I pat his head. He calms down a bit but clings tightly onto my shirt, scared to fall down again. Daddy. He mumbles. Wait, is he actually going to call me that now? Forget it, I'm just going to play along. How about you sleep for today? You can play with Kakuzu and Sasori tomorrow. I suggest. He nods and pushes his face in my chest, almost falling asleep instantly. That's that, I say to the others as I head to my room. Kakuzu's POV. Shit, I nearly dropped a kid. Wait, why do I care if he falls or not? He's just another stupid kid. Then why do I feel bad? Itachi is still asleep in the room and I wake up on top of his chest. Well, this is awkward. I roll my eyes and carefully climb down and slide down to the floor. Hee. Sasori and Kakuzu promised to play with me today. I crawl my way to the living room and push the door more open. I see Kisame sitting on the couch looking bored, Sasori sitting by the table with a small puppet in his hands and Kakuzu sitting opposite Sasori, counting his money. Everyone else must still be sleeping. I grunt as I crawl towards the table and tug on Sasori's cloak. He stops what he was doing and looks down. What do you want, kid? He asks, more like demands. Pway, you promised. I pout. Sasori freezes and thinks things over for a bit. Fine, he finally says. I grin before crawling to Kakuzu and tugging his cloak as well. He looks down as well and I huff, knowing he heard me talking to Sasori. He rolls his eyes before getting up as well. I grin happily and put my arms up. Kakuzu reluctantly picks me up and we head outside, to the Akatsuki garden. As we walk, I began to be curious about if Sasori is actually a human or not. Are you really a human? I ask Sasori. Are you really a human? Sasori thinks for a bit on what he wants to say. No, this is merely a puppet. He answers. Ooh, wanna see real you? I exclaim. Ooh, wanna see real you? Sasori scowls a bit before sighing. He then stops walking and so does Kakuzu. Wait, are you serious? Kakuzu asks curiously. He's a kid. It's not like he can kill me without this puppet anyway. Sasori says and jumps out of the puppet. I then see a teenage male with red sunset hair standing next to what everyone saw as Sasori. Kakuzu has his eyes wide open. What, never seen a human before? Sasori scowls with a higher pitched voice than his normal low pitched one. Kakuzu averts his gaze but I kept staring at him. I grin. Sasori rolls his eyes. Let's just go, he says and starts walking again. Kakuzu following behind him. Soon we reach the garden. I look around with sparkles in my eyes. Wow, who knew the Akatsuki liked gardening? I snicker to myself. Kakuzu puts me down on the grass and I make my way towards a patch of dirt. "Oh no you don't," Sasori says. Before I could jump in and roll around, I felt Sasori's chakra strings on me, stopping me in my tracks. I pout once again. He then pulls me back and places me on the grass. I look around trying to find something interesting to do. I then remembered. "Sorry." I yell and turn around. Sasori perks up immediately with wide eyes at the nickname. "What?" he asks. "Wanna piwe with pupva?" I smile and push myself off the ground, waddling towards him. "No," he says bluntly. He freezes and tears began filling my eyes. "Because all my puppet have poison in them. You'll get poisoned and I won't have the antidote." He sighs. I look at him with shocked eyes. He cares? It would be a waste of my poison and I don't particularly want to die by Itachi's hands. He adds on quickly. I puff my cheeks and fold my arms together, disappointed that he doesn't actually care about me. Sasori's POV. What the hell was I thinking? I nearly sounded like I cared. Thank God I lied about the last part. I sighed again. His frowning face is cute. No it's not. I groaned mentally. I held out the small puppet I had been working on. "Here, this puppet doesn't have poison in it," I say and hold it towards him. He stares at me then the puppet. His face lights up and instead of running, well trying to anyway, to get the puppet, he waddles past and gives me a bear hug. I tense but he doesn't notice. "Thanks sorry." He gives me an closed eye smile. I stare at him wide-eyed. He crawls off me and takes the puppet carefully, as if it's the most fragile thing in the universe. He then stands up and waddles to the middle of the garden and plays with the puppet, waving it up and down while I stare at him. I think my face heated up but that's not possible, I'm a puppet. But he makes me want to protect his small and innocent body. Wait, that didn't just come out of my mouth. What the hell is wrong with me? I hear a loud noise behind me and I turn around. "Naruto?" Itachi yells. "Daddy!" I hear a squeal. Behind me are the rest of the Akatsuki. Shit, I'm not in my puppet. "Who the hell are you?" Deidara asks. "Shut up Deidara." I turn around. "Daddy!" Naruto yells again and waddles as quick as he can towards Itachi. Itachi picks him up and Naruto squeals. "Daddy daddy daddy." Naruto bounces. "What is it Naruto?" Itachi asks. "Sorry gave me a pupwet." He yells pointing at me then holding up the puppet. "Aw isn't he adorable?" Toby coos and waves his fingers above Naruto's face. "Who's sorry?" Kisame asks. "Sorry is Sasori." Kakuzu replies. "Really? Sasori actually let the little pipsqueak call him that?" Deidara asks. "I didn't let him. He just called me that himself." I say. "Okay, who are you?" Hidan asks. "Believe it or not, this is Sasori." Kakuzu says. "What? You better not have put poison in it." Itachi yells. "Of course I didn't. Why would I kill him?" I say rhetorically. Itachi rolls his eyes. "Daddy, Sori can make the pupwet move." Naruto says and tries to imitate how I use my chakra strains. I smile slightly and everyone gasps. I frown again. "What?" I ask. "You can smile? You have emotions? You're really a teenager?" "Yes, yes and yes." I roll my eyes, something I've been doing recently. "Daddy, after breakfast, can I piwe with Kuzu?" Naruto asks, tilting his head. "Kuzu?" Kisame asks. Naruto nods and points to Kakuzu. Sure," Itachi says. "Yay, love you daddy." Naruto hugs Itachi. Itachi sends a warning glare to Kakuzu and Kakuzu sweat drops. That kid is really overprotective of the brat. Kisame sighs. "You don't fucking say." Deidara replies. Itachi slaps Kisame and Deidara on the head. Naruto giggles as they both whine. I head back inside with Naruto and the Akatsuki. "What's for breakfast?" Hidan asks. "Naruto, what do you want?" I ask. "Pancakes," he yells as he kicks his legs happily. I see Sasori give another small smile. "Alright, pancakes it is," I say and place him on the living room floor. He was about to go outside the door and explore when Kazuku picks him up. He whines. "If you get lost then Itachi will go haywire and it'll annoy me." Kazuku says. I ignore what he said and continued making the pancakes. "I will not go haywire." I yell in my head and give off a slight twitch. Naruto giggles as he forces Kazuku to show him the strings attached to him. Kazuku huffs in annoyance and detach a single string, making it float above Naruto's head. Naruto stands up slowly and tries to catch it. They continue this for a while and I set the pancakes down. Breakfast, I say out loud. Ooh yay. Naruto yells and waddles towards the table. He looks up and frowns. What's wrong? I ask. Daddy, can't get up. He says pointing up to the chair. Daddy, can't get up. I stifle a snicker and instead picked him up and placed him on my lap. He grins happily before munching on the pancakes. Who knew Itachi was so fatherly? Kisame mumbles to the rest of the Akatsuki. I hit him on the head before everyone could start laughing. After finishing 3 pancakes, everyone went back to their own rooms. Naruto grins and jumps off my lap, heading for the door. I sigh. Naruto, don't get in trouble. I yell. I won't. He yells back. I doubt that. Very much. Naruto's POV. I run around the base and look at different rooms. I then entered a random door on my right. I look inside. It was dark and smelled like money and coins. What do you want? I heard someone ask from a table at the back of the room. I run towards the table and look at what Kakuzu was doing. Wha, you doin'? I ask curiously. I'm counting. He glares. I ignore the glare. Kuzu. I call. What now? He asks. P-way. I say. He looks like he was about to protest but then he sighed and mumbles a small, fine. I smile widely, giving him a big hug and then making him lead me to the gardens again. He sits on the couch and just watches me play around in the grass. Kuzu. I yell out. What? He asks, annoyance clearly in his voice. I laugh as I wave. He sighs and waves back. I laugh harder and roll around in the dirt again. Itachi is going to kill me if I let you play in the dirt, you know. He says walking up to me. Yay, but daddy isn't here. I smile innocently. I can tell he's holding back an eye roll. Kuzu. P-way with me. I tug on his cloak. No, he says. I pout and let go of his cloak reluctantly. I then crouch down and let tears appear in the corner of my eyes. He flinches slightly. I mentally grin. Kate Kuzu hate me? Like everyone else? I ask in my most convincing sad tone. His eyes widened slightly and then went back to his blank face. He sighs and then picks me up, under my armpits. No, I don't hate you. Will you stop crying if I play with you? He asks. I nod. Fine, but this is a secret, okay? You can't tell anyone about this. He says. I nod again. He then takes off his cloak and shows me a lot of string coming out of him and 4 masks stuck on the strings. I don't get scared though, more like amazed. Cool. I yell and grab one of the strings. He stares at me in shock. Kakuzu's POV. Did he just say, cool? I thought for sure that he was going to get scared. He grabs one of my strings and plays with it. I lift him up by the string and he squeals in excitement. Who is this kid? I put him back down on the ground and he pouts. Again, he yells. I lifted him up again but higher and he squeals again. Kuzu, make a slide, he yells. I shrugged mentally and made a solid slide with my strings, placing him on top of it. I give him a gentle push and he slides down, towards me. Wee, he yells and lifts his arms up. He then stops as he hits my chest. He blinks a few times before recognizing that he was now in front of my chest. He smiles up at me and wraps his arms around me. Yay, that was fun, Kuzu. He giggles. I rub his blonde head naturally. I let out a small smile. Can we do it again next time? He asks, still with hands around me and yawns. Sure, I say. He smiles tiredly and rests his head on my chest. I put my cloak back on and hold him in one arm. I head back inside and see everyone staring at me like I was crazy. I furrow my brows. What? I ask. Kakuzu, you're holding the pipsqueak, Deidara says. I look down at Naruto. Duh, I say like it's the most obvious thing in the world. They were about to yell about stuff again but Itachi walks up and takes him from me. He's probably tired from playing. He says and sits on the couch with Naruto's head in his lap. I nod and let him do whatever. So what did you guys do? Toby asks. I let the kid play with my strings and slide down it. I reply. Ah, that lucky fox. Toby smiles. Well, at least I think he did. The mask is in the way, I can't see his face. I notice Itachi stroking the kid's hair and just ignore it. He's got a soft spot for the kid. Naruto's POV. I wake up on Itachi's lap. I sat up while rubbing my eyes. Daddy, I'm hungry. I mumble. I'll get some ramen or something. Sasori sighs and digs around the kitchen. Itachi strokes my hair and I lean into his touch. I wonder why I feel happy about this. Why am I happy being babied by S-rank criminals? Besides, they're only taking care of me because they need Kurama and will kill me soon. Naruto? What's wrong? Itachi asks, wiping a tear off my face. Daddy. I mumble and press my face against his chest. He looks at me with a frown. Daddy. Are you, Sori, Sasori, Kuzu, Kakuzu, Dide, Didera, Tobi, Su, Zetsu, Same, Kisame, and Hidan, gonna kill me? I ask. They all visible flinch. B, but I love you all. D, don't you love me too? I cry. I know I haven't had the chance to get to know all of them, but I still feel like I love them. Silence took over and all anyone could hear are my cries. Naruto, we won't kill you. How did you get that idea? Itachi asks. I don't answer and just sob into his chest. He looks up at everyone. Itachi's POV. I look at everyone and they all had guilty looks on their faces, even though Naruto only had the chance to play with Sasori and Kakuzu. Clearly, having the ball of sunshine in their lives brightened them up a whole lot more. Just being in his presence can heal you. Naruto, why don't you eat lunch? You're hungry, right? I ask. He nods and rubs his eyes. I hand him to Kisame, who, this time, didn't complain about Naruto. Sasori hands the ramen cup to Naruto. Thanks, Sori. He mumbles and starts eating his ramen. While Naruto was eating his ramen, Didera and Hidan decided it was a good time to start an argument. The fuck she hell are you talking about? Hidan yells. He just needs a ride in the sky. Didera yells back. He needs to take a walk. Hidan yells back. Sky, walk, D-Day. Don't fight. Naruto yells worriedly. They were about to yell again when they notice it was Naruto who was stopping them. Didera sighs. Whatever. This is a waste of time. He says and leaves. Hidan rolls his eyes. Naruto looks at both of them as they both leave. Naruto, don't worry about those two. I smile a bit. He climbs into my lap and nods and, okay. I think about how Naruto has only been here a while and everyone was already attached to him. Even Didera and Hidan were fighting on how to cheer him up. But when they saw how sad he was because they were fighting, they stopped arguing immediately. I stand up and take him to my room. Naruto, how old are you? I ask. Will 16. He replies. You do realize that they will kill you, right? I ask. He nods and frowns. But still, he says. I sigh. And what's with the daddy thing? I ask. He huffs and crosses his arms. Because you seem like a daddy. He says. I just realized that he doesn't have the baby talk anymore. Fine, whatever. I sigh once again. He smiles. Now that's the Naruto I know. I say, patting his head. Daddy. He whines as I mess his blonde hair up. I chuckle. Now go and have fun with whoever you want. I say, waving him off. Yay. He laughs and jumps off the bed. Naruto's POV. I run around looking for Didera. When I reached his room, I push the door open and see him making sculptures. D-Day. I yell happily and climb on his lap. Gay? Pipsqueak? He asks. I'm not a pipsqueak. I say in mock anger, hitting his chest lightly. He laughs. You're a pipsqueak to me, pipsqueak. He says. I huff once again. Play with me. I ask in a demanding tone. I don't see why not. Come with me, he says and stands up. I run happily with him towards the garden again. He makes a huge bird from clay and I stare at it in awe. Climb on, he says, standing on the bird. But D-Day, what if I fall? I ask. I'll hold on to you, he says. I grin and jump on, holding onto his leg. The bird slowly takes off into the air and I squeal. D-Day, I'm flying. I bounce excitedly. He replies with a smirk. He makes the bird fly around and out of the village. We soon come across Konoha and I freeze. What's wrong? He asks. That place looks familiar. I lie, pointing to Konoha. I know it's familiar because I lived there, but I still had to play along. Didera frowns. Pipsqueak, he calls. I look up. Don't ever come here, okay? Stay close to the Akatsuki, he says in a serious tone. My eyes widen a little. I thought he hated me. Does that mean that D-Day loves me? I ask. He hesitates a bit but looks down at me. Yay, I love you, Pipsqueak, he says, placing a hand on my head. I smile happily and cling to his leg tightly. Suddenly a kunai comes flying this way. Didera glares and makes the bird dodge. Pipsqueak, we're going back home now, he says in a rush. I obey quietly and he takes us home as fast as he can. But before he could reach the hideout, he stopped. D-Day? I ask. We're being followed by Konoha ninjas. He says quietly. I fear for the worst. Without him noticing, I slip past and see who was following us. It was Kakashi, Sakura, Shikamaru and Hinata. I ran back to Deidara. Where did you go? Stay close to me, Deidara says worried. I nod. He picks me up and sighs. I notice Kakashi and them above us. They're spying on us. Come on Pipsqueak, we better get back, Deidara says. D-Day, I say. He looks at me. I signal with my eyes that there was someone above us. Damn it, he cusses. D-Day, please don't hurt them, I say. Do you know them? He asks, probably worried my memories came back. No, but it's bad to hurt people. I lie once again. Deidara sighs. Fine, he says. I smile. He holds me close to his body. Oi, whoever is there, I want to talk, he says. Kakashi jumped down with a kunai in hand. I hold on to Deidara. Can you put the kuani away? You're scaring Pipsqueak here. Deidara sighs. Sakura, Shikamaru and Hinata jump down as well. I look at them and frown. What if they take me away? Kakashi-sensei. I don't think he'll attack. He has a child, Shikamaru says. Kakashi sighs and puts the kunai away. Why do you have a child? Kakashi asks. Naruto's POV. Naruto? Hinata asks and looks at me. I freeze and look at Deidara. He looks angry and grips me tighter, pulling me closer. Hinata, what are you talking about? That's not Naruto. That guy is in Akatsuki. Sakura says. No, I meant the child. Hinata says pointing at me. D-Day, please don't say anything. I whisper. He nods. I wasn't going to. He says. That child does have an uncanny resemblance to Naruto, but Naruto isn't a child. Sakura says. I feel Kakashi and Shikamaru observe me. What are you looking at? Deidara nearly growls, holding my head protectively. That child looks like a baby version of one of our shinobis. Kakashi says. Deidara frowns. He knows that I'm a Konoha shinobi and he knows that I'm not really a child. D-Day, I want to go home, I say loud enough for them to hear. Their eyes widen. Pipsqueak, I don't think they'll let us leave easily. He replies. I pout. Fine, how about this? Deidara says to them. They stare at Deidara, waiting for him to continue. I'll tell you something you want to know and you let us leave. He says. Fair enough. Kakashi says. Yay, what's this something that we would want to know? Shikamaru asks, not looking away from me. Naruto. Deidara starts. They all flinch and get into defense positions. He's safe. Deidara says. How would you know? Sakura asks. Pipsqueak. I'm going to fly you home. Deidara says. I hesitate at first but nod. He makes another clay bird and I jump into its mouth. I feel the clay bird taking me away. Deidara's POV. Naruto isn't dead and we haven't captured him. I repeat. How do you know? The pink-haired girl repeats as well. He'll probably return in a few hours or so. But I don't know his whereabouts. I say. But how would you know this? The silver-haired Jonin asks. Don't question me. That's all I can say. I say as I create another clay bird, hopping on it. Wait. Tell us more of what you know. Pink hair yells. I roll my eyes. All you need to know is he's safe and won't be harmed. I say as my clay bird flies off. I see the clay bird that Pipsqueak is in and I jump on top of it. Pipsqueak? I call. He climbs out of the mouth and I pick him up. Katsu. I say as I make the other clay bird explode. Whoa, that's cool D-Day. He bounces. I chuckle as we enter the garden. He jumps down and hugs me. Thank you D-Day. He says and runs inside. I stare at him as he leaves. He's one strange kid, making me feel like I have to protect him. Naruto's POV. I run around the base and look for Hidan. I burst into a room and was happy when I found Hidan laying down on his bed. I jump up and above his tummy. Oof. He gasps as I sat down. Hee, I whine. Okay, I'm up. What do you want, chibi? He asks. I'm not a chibi. I huff. Hi. Now what do you want? He asks. Wanna play? I grin. No, go annoy someone else, he says and lies back down. I whine and poke him. I continue poking him and he twitches in annoyance. Okay fine. He yells and lifts me up by both my hands, making me dangle in the air. I laugh as he wiggles me in the air with my arms above my head. What do you want to do? He asks tiredly. I want to play with you Red Sword. I grin. No, Definitely not, he says. What? Why? I ask as I pout. Because that is a sacred death weapon. You are not allowed to touch it. It's dangerous, he says sternly. Ah, I pout. We can go for a walk. He sighs. Yay. I smile and he puts me on the ground. I run out of the room and jump around in front of his door, waiting for him to get ready. Naruto, what are you doing in front of Hidan's door? Itachi asks. Daddy, guess what? I squeal. What? He asks. Today, D-Day took me flying and we saw Konoha's Cyclops, Bubblegum, Shy Hyuga and Pineapple Nara. I say in coded words so he knows who I saw. His eyes widen. Hitaki Kakashi, Haruno Sakura, Hyuga Hinata and Nara Shikamaru huh? Itachi thought. He then snickers a bit with the words I chose to describe them. Now what are you doing? He asks. Waiting for we're going for a walk. I smile. Have a good walk and listen to Hidan, okay? He asks, patting my head. Okay daddy. I smile. Okay, let's go. Hidan says, opening the door. I latch myself onto his back and he piggybacks me. I giggle. Bye daddy. I yell and wave back. He waves back silently. He walks out of the base and towards Konoha. Oh come on. I don't want to come here. I say and pat his head to gain his attention. Why? What's wrong? Not many people know about the Akatsuki. So it's fine, he says. I pout. Okay but promise that you'll hide me if I want to hide? I ask. Sure, he says. I smile. He walks past the guards and I mentally roll my eyes. What is security, right? I yell excitedly when I see Ichiraku. Oh god, ramen again? You are obsessed. Hidan rolls his eyes. I pout again and he sighs. Fine but only one bowl. He says. Yay, I love you, I hug his head. He grunts in annoyance but on the inside, I know he's happy. When we got inside I noticed Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke. I flinch. Not again. I try to avert my eyes but it was too late. Kakashi saw me. Hey, weren't you with? He looks at me then notices Hidan carrying me. Oh sorry, I thought you were someone else. Kakashi says, not wanting to cause a fight. Hidan doesn't know that Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke know about them. Sakura and Sasuke flinch slightly but relaxes when they see a child with Hidan, meaning Hidan wouldn't cause a commotion. So, they're going to pretend they don't know the Akatsuki huh? Good choice. Miso ramen, I say tugging his cloak. Hi, just sit still and stop bouncing. Geez, you and your ramen, he sighs. I giggle. What would y'all like? Tucci asks. Miso ramen for Chibi here. Hidan says patting my head as I sit on his lap. Coming right up. Tucci smiles. I grin in return. Hidan just sighs again. Excuse me, but you're not from Konoha are you? Sakura asks Hidan, innocently. Crap, I could feel Hidan getting annoyed. No, I say for him even if I hesitated, because I am from Konoha. I see, you look like someone I know. Sasuke says. I flinch and Hidan places a hand on my head, pulling me closer. Don't worry, we aren't going to steal him, Kakashi laughs. Hidan relaxes slightly but not completely. The miso ramen was then placed in front of me. I grin happily and slurp up the whole bowl. You and your ramen. Hidan sighs again. I giggle at him. I see Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke smile slightly at me. You really do remind me of Naruto. Sakura says to me. Hidan's eyes widen and grip onto me protectively. I grip his cloak back. I don't want to leave the Akatsuki. Naruto? I ask. Before I say anything else, Hidan covers my mouth. Sorry but I feel like you were about to say something bad. Well then we'll be on our way. Hidan says and jumps up, leaving. Kakashi's POV. Shikamaru and I had a small talk after Deidara from the Akatsuki left with that child who resembles Naruto. The kid looks like Naruto. Acts like Naruto and even sounds like Naruto. Plus Naruto disappeared as well. Could be a possibility but what if Naruto was in a henge and the Akatsuki found him? Shikamaru asks. True, but why didn't he come back? And why is he sticking with them? I ask. I decided to leave it him to think and left to get some ramen. When I got there I saw Sakura there with Sasuke, talking about Naruto's disappearance. Yo, I say. They greeted me and I ordered my own bowl of ramen. Just then another person walks in carrying. A mini Naruto? That's the kid with Deidara. And he's with another person from the Akatsuki. I study him as he eats and talks. Too much like Naruto. You really do remind me of Naruto. Sakura says. I see him flinch and hold onto Hidan of the Akatsuki's cloak. Hidan grips him back. Interesting. Hidan then suddenly left as quick as possible. Naruto's POV. I secretly create a shadow clone of my older self and went to Ichiraku. Kakashi's POV. Kakashi-sensei? Sakura-chan? Sasuke? I hear a voice behind us. Naruto? Where have you been? I ask. Sorry. I was out in the forest chasing the guy, then he made this bright light, and when I woke up, I was still in the forest. I only woke up a few hours ago. He says. I sigh in relief. So the kid wasn't Naruto and what Deidara was saying was true. Anyways, time for some ramen. He grins and licks his lips. I smile slightly. Naruto, you wouldn't believe it, but we saw a kid that looks like you. The exact replica. Sakura says. Really? Naruto asks. Yay. He even loves ramen and everything. Sakura continues. Huh, weird. Naruto mumbles as he slurps his third bowl of ramen. I know, right? Sakura says. Sasuke just watched them talk and finished his ramen slowly. Welp, I gotta go. Naruto says and then disappears in a puff of smoke. Kage Bunshin? I exclaim. Why? Sakura asks. I don't know. I say. Naruto's POV. Good. I say as I got the memories back. Come on Chibi. Why don't we head back? Hidan asks. Yay. I yell. Excited to see Itachi again. Do you love me? I ask. Huh? What's with the random question? He asks. Because I love you this much. I say, stretching my arms out as far as I can. He pats my head and smiles. Yes, he smiles. Short Chibi. I love you. He says. I grin. As soon as we got back, I immediately ran to Itachi. Daddy. I yell and latch onto his leg. Welcome back. Did you have fun? He asks. I met Konoha's Cyclops, Bubblegum and Broody again. I whisper. Sasuke, huh? He thinks. He had ramen again. Hidan says. Again? Really Naruto? Daddy asks. I gulp. Yay. I nod. Little fox. Eating only ramen is bad for you. Toby says in a sing-song voice. Toby. I pout and tap his mask in a playful manner. Now come on. It's my turn to play with you. Toby jumps up and down. He then picks me up and lifts me up higher than his head. I squeal in delight as he waves and swings me around. Toby, don't drop him, Itachi says sternly. High. Toby laughs sheepishly. After Toby, can I play with same? I ask. Sure kid, Kisame answers. Yay. I yell and throw my arms up. What about me? Toby pouts. I panic. Toby. Toby. I'll play with Toby first. I bounce around in his arms and pat his mask. Aw, you're so cute little fox. Toby coos. I giggled childishly and he starts skipping somewhere. He places me on his bed and asks me what I wanted to play. I just stare at his mask. What's wrong little fox? He asks. Toby, why do you wear a mask? I ask. He flinches as he was unprepared for the question. He then sighs. I guess it should be fine if only you saw what my face looks like. He mumbles. He takes his mask off, showing half a side crushed looking and the normal side with a Sharingan. Whoa, Toby looks cool, I yell. He smiled softly. My name is Obito. He says. Obi, too? That sounds familiar. I say. He looks panicked a bit. Oh, it sounds like Toby. I laugh. He sighs. Now, what would you like to play? He asks. Don't wanna play, just wanna sleep. I yawn. Oh alright, you have been running around all day after all. Obito smiles and pats my head. I crawl into his lap and his eyes widen. I thought you wanted to sleep? Obito asks. I don't answer but instead I just cling to his shirt and snuggle closer to the warmth. I hear him sigh then chuckle before wrapping an arm around my back to support me, in case I fall back. I let myself relax and sink into his shirt. Obito's POV. Naruto's breathing evens out and I relax my tense shoulders. Arg. I just showed him my face and told him my name. I'm an idiot. What if he remembers? He already knows about me being the masked man when his parents died. If he regains his teenage memories then he'll hate me. I really don't want him to hate me. But why don't I want him to hate me? I'm already used to people hating me and I didn't care about what they thought anyways. I was going to create the perfect world. But if the perfect world is created then that means Naruto disappears. He'll be in my dream world but it wouldn't be the real him. He's starting to make me doubt the Tsukuyomi. Arg, god dang it, what the hell has he done to me? I groaned silently and lay down on my bed with Naruto hugging my chest. He's so cute though. I couldn't help but coo at his peaceful sleeping face. I then let myself fall asleep as well, clutching him protectively. Itachi's POV. Where's Toby and Naruto? I ask everyone around the table. Dunno. Don't care. Leave them. I nearly growled at how they're treating this situation. Nearly. Toby said they were gonna play, remember? Kisame asks. Thanks. And where would that be? I ask. Probably Toba's room. Sasori shrugs. Dinner is going to be done soon. Deidara says. Ahahaha, you sound like a fucking wife. Hidan laughs and points at Deidara. What you say? Deidara yells. They start yelling, then it led to pokes, then it led to a catfight. I sigh. I'm going to check his room then. Kakuzu, could you get them to stop? I ask. He shrugs and stands up, walking towards the two fighting. I walk towards Toba's room and I hear silence. I open his door slowly and peek inside. Naruto is sleeping on top of Toby. Toby. Mask. Off. Uchiha Obito? There's no doubt. It's my older cousin? Yay, he's my older cousin. What the? I slowly creep out of the room and took deep breaths. I close the door quietly and knock on the door, like I haven't been inside yet. Toby? You there? It's time for Naruto to eat. I knock a few more times. I hear rustling from inside. Why yay, Toba's coming with little fox now. I hear him say in a sing-song voice. I mentally laugh in amusement. Who would have thought that Toby was Obito? But he died before. How is he alive? Whatever. I'll leave it for now. Toby then slams the door open with a sleeping Naruto in his arms. He hands Naruto to me and I don't hesitate to carry him to the dining room. Naruto, wake up. I ruffled his hair. He blinks twice before rubbing the sleep away from his eyes. Daddy. He mumbles. Yay, it's me, I say. He snuggles closer to my chest as we head inside the room. Hey Pipsqueak. Deidara waves. D-Day. Naruto gives a small but happy smile. Heyo Chibi. Have a nice nap? Hidan laughs. HN. Naruto smiles widely. He speaks Uchiha. He's been hanging around Itachi too much. Kisame laughs. I give him a slight glare. He immediately shut up but stifled a chuckle behind his hand. I roll my eyes mentally. Daddy, dinner. Naruto mumbles in my arms. Here Pipsqueak. Ramen. Deidara says holding out a ramen cup. Naruto grinned and happily took the cup in his hands. You know, it's kind of bad giving him ramen all the time. Sasori says. Yay, you guys should feed him some vegetables too, like carrots. Kakuzu says. But I don't want to eat Uncle Carrot. Naruto frowns. Excuse me? Uncle Carrot? Kisame asks. Let me explain. I groan. Naruto giggles. Flashback. Naruto, we're going to meet leader again to check your seal. Okay? We need to make sure it's still there. I say. Okay. He yells. As we enter the room, I see Pain seated on his chair. Leader Sama. I brought him. I say respectfully. Good. Now, Naruto. Sit up here. He says, tapping the table. Naruto looks confused before running up and sitting on the table. Pain lifts Naruto's shirt up and concentrates some chakra on his stomach. There seems to be no problem. Pain concludes. Problem? Naruto asks. Nothing. Don't worry about it. You can leave now. Pain says. Naruto hops off the desk as I walk outside and waited for him to rush out. Bye-bye Uncle Carrot. Naruto yells and then slams the door close. I freeze at the nickname and the sound the door made when slammed shut. Naruto grins mischievously. You are going to be in so much trouble if he decides to hate you because of the nickname you gave him. I told him as he climbs up my leg and sits at my waistline, as I support him, making sure he doesn't fall off. He merely giggles. Meanwhile with Pain and Conan. Did he just? Conan asks. Yep. Pain replies. Call you? Yep. Slam the. Yep. Carrot. Yep. Let's forget this ever happened and just let him call you that. Conan says. Yep. Pain face palms. Flashback end. Bawahahahahahahaha. Kisame, Deidara and Hidan laugh hysterically, clutching their stomachs and rolling on the ground with tears pricking their eyes because they're laughing too hard. Pipsqueak. I love you even more now. Deidara yells in between laughs. I need to see his reaction. Hidan rolls around on the floor. Oh god, my stomach burns. Kisame clutches his stomach with tears running down his face. Naruto laughs along with them. You're going to piss him off one day, squirt. Kakuzu says, ruffling Naruto's hair. But Kuzu, he, D-Day, same, sorry, Sue, Toby and Daddy will protect me, right? Naruto asks with a hopeful glint in his eyes. Everyone freezes and looks at the blonde child. He looks around and frowns at the sudden silence. Why's everyone quiet now? Naruto asks. Don't worry about it, Naruto. I say, stroking his hair. One day, puppet, you're going to have to kill us. Sasori says. Sasori. Kisame smacks his head. I'm just telling the truth. Sasori replies. Everyone looks at Naruto to see his reaction. He stares at Sasori and slumps down. Why? I don't want to kill you guys. Naruto says, hiccuping over his words as tears start spilling out of his eyes. Everyone could only listen to his words. That's not gonna happen. I won't kill anyone here. IP promise. Naruto cries become heavy now. He sobs and wails into my chest as I run circles on his back, trying to soothe him. Everyone looks grateful for the promise, but they know that he won't remember that promise when the jutsu breaks and he returns to his teenage form. Everyone listens to his soft hiccups and cries as he falls asleep with uneven breathing patterns. He'll forget about us soon. We can't get attached, Kazuku says with a sigh. Though it's too late now, isn't it, everyone? He says like a statement then a question. No one denied that fact. Not even Pain, who was watching everything. Naruto's POV. I woke up, expecting to see Itachi, but all I saw was Pain's chair and table without a Pain and Conan in the room. I realized that I was in a cot next to Pain's table and I quickly look around. Daddy? I call out. No answer. D-Day? He? Sorry? Kuzu? Sue? Same? Toby? Conan? Still no one answered. I slowly climb out of the cot and crawl towards the door. As soon as I open it, a figure stood in my way. I was about to yell and scream when he spoke in a familiar voice. Oh, Fishcake, you're awake, Pain asks looking down. Uncle Carrot, where's Daddy? And everyone? I ask, tilting my head slightly. Everyone's gone on a mission to get a few things. Pain replies. Where? I ask. You don't need to know. Now, since we're here, why don't we play a game? Pain asks. I smile as he ruffles my hair. He then picks me up and heads downstairs. Uncle Carrot, what game are we gonna play? I ask. Why don't we play in the swimming pool? Pain suggests. Yay, swimming. I yell in excitement. Pain chuckles a bit before heading outside to a large lake. I immediately jump in. Wait, Fishcake, you'll catch a cold if you swim straight away like that. Pain sighs as I already splash around in the water. Uncle Carrot, come in too. I yell happily. I'll stay here. You enjoy the swim, but if you catch a cold, it's not my fault. He says. Okay. I yell, heading deeper in the lake. I dive down and look around. I saw fishes, dolphins and other sea creatures swimming around. Uncle Carrot. I pop my head out of the surface of the water to wave and give him a grin. He gives me a small but genuine smile and waves a bit back. I snicker and dive back under the water. I look around a bit and found an underwater cave. The cave is a small air pocket. There's air inside so I could breathe. Oh, this could be my secret base. I grin to myself. Pain's POV. I look out at the water. Naruto's been gone a while. He hasn't come up to breathe. He can't breathe underwater, can he? I start to worry. Dang it, I'm jumping in. I dive deep and look around. I can't find him, until I spot a really suspicious cave. Seems like a cave Naruto would enter. And I was correct. When I entered the cave, Naruto was standing there looking around in awe. He turns around and sees me drying my cloak off. Uncle Carrot, look, it's a cave. It's gonna be my base from now on. He states and looks proud of himself. I sweat drop. I see. I say, slightly amused. Shush, Uncle Carrot, this is gonna be our secret, okay? He giggles. Hi. I say, ruffling his hair. He smiles before I leave and head back up to the surface. Naruto's POV. I swim around for around 3 hours and I started to look like a prune. Fishcake, I think that's enough swimming. Pain chuckles. But I want to catch a fish with my hands, I whine. Next time. Now everyone should be home. Pain says. Really? I yell. Yes. Now let's go inside and greet them back. He says and picks me up. I bounce about in his arms as he dries me off and changes me into dry clothes. I hop to the living room and open the door. Surprise. I hear a few people yell as I enter. Huh? I look around. There were streamers, balloons and a cake on the table. Did you forget your own birthday, Chibi? Hidan laughs. Birthday? I ask. Yay, it's October 10th. Pain smiles at me. Then, the mission in swimming was? I ask. The mission was to get everything and set this up. The swimming was a distraction. Conan smiles. I tremble a bit. They all flinch, expecting me to cry. What's wrong, little fox? Toby asks. Yay, sunshine, is something wrong? Zetsu asks. I shake my head. Happy tears streaming down my face. Thank you. I cry. Why are you crying? Itachi asks, wiping my tears away. Because I don't know why, but I remember that I didn't like my birthday because a lot of people beat me up. I rub my eyes. Puppet. That won't happen here. Sasori says, ruffling my hair. I nod. Now, wipe those tears and let's have a fun party, okay with you, shrimp? Kisame asks and looks at me. I nod again and wipe my tears away, replacing them with a huge smile. First, let's open the presents. Conan hands me a present. That's mine, Kuzu says. I rip the wrapped box and look at it. It was a small safe with coins inside it. Thank you, Kuzu. I hug him. He hugs back with a small smile of his own. Next is mine, Sori says, handing me a small box. I rip it open and see a book about how to create and use a puppet. I giggle and hug Sori as well. This is mine, Sue says, handing me another small box. Inside was a flower of bright orange. This flower never wilts or rots. Reminded me of you. Sue laughs. I thank him and give him a hug as well. Here, shrimp, Same says, holding a box out. I take it excitingly. Inside was a water gun that can squirt out water jutsu. Holy crap, Itachi. Language. Thank you, Same. I yell and hug his waist. He smirks at everyone and gets glares back. Here's mine, fish cake. Pain says, handing me a ring. A ring? I ask. Place it on your thumb. He says. I obey and it lights up a bit. The word, family, appeared in orange. I hug him tightly with thanks. Here, Chibi. Hidan says. I look at the box in his hands and open it. Inside was a red kunai, the same color as his scythe. I grin and hug him as well. Here, little fox. Toby hands me another box. I open it and see the same curly, spirally mask except it's a yellow color. Yuwa, I'm going to be the same as Toby. I laugh, putting it on and hugging him. Here, Naru-chan. Conan says, handing me a handful of paper. What's this? I ask. If you channel your chakra into it, then it will do whatever you want it to do. Conan smiles. I look at it before channeling my chakra in it, then asked it to create a stick in my mind. Sure enough, it changed into a small stick that fits in my hands. Cool. I yell and hug the female. Here, Pipsqueak. D-Day says, holding out a box. I take it and open it quietly. Inside was clay that he uses for his clay bombs. Ooh yay, bombs. I laugh out loud. I give him a hug and he pats my back. Last is mine, Itachi says, holding out a box. I smile widely before opening it and see a plush teddy bear in it. OMG, 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 OMG. I've always wanted a bear. I yell so loudly, I'm pretty sure everyone in the world could have heard me. I run straight towards him and hug his waist tightly, not letting go anytime soon. Thank you, Daddy. I love you. I smile. Love you too. He smiles and stroked my hair. Ah, you finally admit it. Kisame grins. Shut up, Itachi says, throwing the kunai at him. But Kisame catches it and grins even more. As well as everyone else in the room. I hate you guys. Itachi frowns but smiles again at me, snuggling into his tummy. Happy birthday, Naruto. They all repeat again. Naruto's POV. I carry around the teddy bear I got from Itachi last night. I open the door to Sori's room. Sori? I call. What is it, puppet? Sori asks and turns around in his chair. I need help, I say. With what? He asks, a little irritated because he was in the middle of creating a new poison. I dunno what to call my bear that Daddy got me. I say, holding up the bear. Why not, GTFO, because that's what I want you to do right now. Sori sighs and pushes me out. I frown a bit but stand up and go towards Kisami's door. Same? I call and open his door. What is it? He asks. What should I call my bear that Daddy got me? I ask. What about Teddy? Kisame smiles. Same. You're unoriginal. I deadpan. Shut up, shrimp. Same yells. I laugh and run out the door. I run towards Kuzu's door and rushed in. Kuzu. I call out. What is it, Squirt? Kuzu's voice came from his bed. I need a name for the bear Daddy got me. I say, holding the bear up with a proud smile. Why not just leave it as bear? It's less troublesome that way. He says. He sounds like Shikamaru. But that's boring. I say. Well then ask someone else. He says. Okay. Bye-bye Kuzu. I wave and run towards Sue's room. Sue, I need a name for my bear that daddy got me. I yell out as I burst into his room. How about Hannah? Flower? He asks. But that's girly. I say. It is not girly. Sue yells out. I laugh and run out to find Toby. Toby, I need a name for my bear that daddy got me. I yell as I enter his room. You know this is breaking and entering, right? Toby asks. No, it's not. It's just entering. I laugh as I knock against his table. A cup fell to the ground and shattered to pieces. Okay, now it's breaking and entering. I say. You little. That was my second favorite cup. Toby yells. But that's good. It means you still got your first favorite. I yell in protest. Why don't you name your bear Patience? 'Cause you're making me lose mine. Toby yells. Jesus Toby. No need to yell. I yell back and run out of the room. I ran into Daddy's room and hop onto his lap that was free because he was sitting up on the bed, reading a book. Daddy, I need a name for my bear. I whine. Daddy smiles. How about Sunny? Because it reminds me of your sunny personality. Daddy asks. Yay, perfect. I yell out with a smile. What did everyone else suggest? Daddy asks. Well, Sori said to call it GTFO. Itachi, peeved. Same said to call it Teddy. Kuzu said to call it Bear. Sue said to call it Hannah. And Toby yelled at me when I broke and entered, then told me to call it Patience because I'm making him lose his. I finish. Daddy laughs a little before patting my head. You really pissed a lot of people off today. Daddy says. No, I didn't. I only asked for help. I pouted. I know Naruto. Daddy smiles. Daddy, when I return to my teenage form, will I forget about all this? I ask. No, only if I used my Sharingan on you, then you'll forget these memories. He explains. But I don't want to forget. So don't use them on me, okay? I ask. Sure. He hesitates. I smile nonetheless and he returns the smile. Now, let's go to Konoha, he says suddenly. Ge? Why? I ask and scurry back. Because you're too cooped up in here. You need some fresh air. He says and picks me up. No, Daddy, let me go. Don't want to go. I yell and thrash around. I hear Itachi sigh but ignored my pleas. As soon as we reach the gates I shut up immediately. Mainly because I might get taken away from the Akatsuki and I don't want to leave soon. You know, there's ramen here. He smirks. RWAMEN. I yell. Katetsu and Izumo burst out laughing as they were watching everything unfold between us. Itachi quickly covers his face. Daddy, why are you covering your face? I ask. It's bad if they find out I'm here. They'll take you away from me. He explains. I freeze with wide eyes. Katetsu and Izumo walk towards us. Are you guys new in town? Katetsu asks. Yay. Daddy nods. Ah, I see. Welcome to Konoha. Izumo smiles. They both stare at me and I eep as I hide my face in Itachi's chest. I hear his slight chuckle and rub my back. Sorry about that. He's shy. Itachi says. What's his name? Katetsu asks. Daddy Ramen. I whine, getting him out of the trouble of giving my name out. He sighs of relief. Sorry, he's really hungry. Itachi says as he slips away. They both shrug and head back to the booth they were at. We are never doing that again. I say angrily, hitting him. Hi. He laughs. You owe me ramen. I pout. Yes, I know. Come on. He sighs and walks towards Ichiraku's. He orders 2 bowls for me and 1 slurp them down. Forgive me now? Itachi smiles. You're lucky I love you. I say, crossing my arms. He merely chuckles and pats my hair. Itachi? I hear a yell. We both look towards where the voice came from and I flinch. Sasuke. Thank God I finished my ramen. Uchiha Itachi, you have a death wish. Kakashi-sensei sends a glare towards Itachi. It hurt when they hate Itachi, he did nothing wrong. And that child is back. Just what is that child to you guys? I hope he isn't a hostage. Kakashi says. Itachi stays quiet. Itachi, I'm going to kill you. Sasuke yells. Don't, you'll stain him with blood. Itachi says, pointing to me. They both look at me and freeze. I don't care. Sasuke yells again and rushes forward. Daddy, I yell as he nearly gets stabbed with a kunai. Itachi grabs Sasuke's wrist and pulls him up into the air, making him fall on his back behind him. Did he just say, Daddy? Sasuke and Kakashi ask wide-eyed. Naruto's POV. Itachi sighs and releases Sasuke. Not today, baby brother. I only came here to feed him. Itachi says and points towards me again. Kakashi and Sasuke look at me with an unbelieving look. Now if you'll excuse me. Itachi says and picks me up. I cling tightly around his neck. Wait, Itachi. Explain. Sasuke yells. Itachi sighs. Don't worry. He's not mine. Itachi says. But daddy, I am yours. What do you mean? I ask panicking. Naru, just sit here for now. He says. Itachi sits me down on Ichiraku's stool and orders a small plate of gyoza. Itachi's POV. I'll explain if you don't attack me. I say. They both look at each other for a few seconds before nodding but keeping a hand on their kunai pouches. I sigh again. I won't tell you who that child is, but he isn't mine. I found him and he called me daddy, so don't get me wrong. I explain. Where did you find him? Why does he look like Naruto? Why are you keeping him? Sasuke questions. I found him near Konoha gates. I don't know why he looks like your friend and I'm only keeping him because he doesn't want to leave. I explain patiently. You can't just take a child. Sasuke says loudly. I turn around and pick Naruto up. Time to go home, I say gently. Naruto smiles widely and grips onto my cloak. Sasuke's POV. Time to go home, Itachi says in the gentle tone he used to talk to me in. The blonde child smiles widely before holding onto my brother for his dear life. My brother doesn't seem bothered by the clinginess. Since I've never been that clingy, even when I was young. Itachi gives me one last glance before heading off with the child, one arm around the child's back protectively. Kakashi, who exactly is that child? I ask. I'm not sure. It can't possibly be Naruto since Naruto is a teenager. He replies. HN. I grunt out in annoyance before heading to a training ground. Naruto's POV. Daddy, what happened? I ask. Nothing, Naruto. Let's just head back now. He says. I tilt my head but nod. As soon as we enter the hideout, I run inside and look around for the other members to pester. I then halt to a stop. Where did everyone go? I ask. I'm not sure, but they probably went for a mission. Daddy replies. Now I can't annoy them. I pout. You can't what? Daddy asks with an extra sweet smile. I gulp. Nothing, Daddy. I yell as I run for our room. I slam the door shut and hide under the blankets on the bed. Naruto. I hear him calling out. I then feel two hands picking me up by my sides and I start laughing because either tickles. Daddy. Ha ha ha. It ck less. I squirm around. He then drops me on the bed and sits on the edge. I climb onto his lap and give him a foxy grin, which he replies back to with ruffling my hair. Daddy, I love you. I hug his waist. I love you too, he mumbles. A sudden knock was heard on our door and Itachi quickly got up. Yes? He asks as he opens the door. I found a way to break the jutsu that was used on Naruto. Of course, no one else knows. Sasori says. I freeze. This soon? I'll go back to Konoha and I'll have to leave Daddy behind. No, it's too early. I went pale as Daddy turned around. Naruto. Daddy calls. Puppet. I found a way to change you back to normal. Now you'll have to go back to Konoha and leave us behind. Sasori says. I feel myself begin to shake from fear. What will happen here? Did they really want me to leave? I want to stay forever. I want to stay with Daddy. No. I yell and run out of the room. Naruto? I hear two surprised yells. I run towards Kuzu's room. I slam the door open and surprise a tired Kuzu. Listen here, squirt, but his anger disappears immediately when he saw me with tears running down my face. Kakuzu, catch him. I hear Daddy yell. Kuzu was about to grab hold of me when I slipped past and run out again. Kuzu doesn't love me, Sori doesn't love me, and Daddy doesn't love me. I yell running to the living room. As soon as I open the door, I see everyone staring at me strangely, then they get worried looks as they see my saddened face. Pipsqueak? D-Day asks. No, don't touch me. I yell, causing everyone to step backwards a bit. Naruto, you have to go back. You can't stay here forever. Daddy tries to persuade me. I shake my head in a fast manner. No, I want to stay here with everyone forever. With Daddy and Sori and Same and Kuzu and Sue and he and D-Day and Toby and Uncle Carrot and Khan. I yell and scrunch into a small ball. What's going on? Deidara asks. Itachi, what did you tell him? Same asks. I don't want to become big anymore. I want to stay here. I yell. Everyone seems to have gotten the message. Little fox, you need to go back. Toby says, yay sunshine, your friends are worrying. Sue says, we're doing you a favor by letting you live chibi. He says as well, come on Naruto. Daddy says coming closer to me. But I don't want to go back. I say, you're only saying that because you don't remember. Kuzu says, I flinch. I do remember. I've been lying to them. Naruto, please, don't make this any harder than it is. Daddy says, I know that if I stay here then Konoha will eventually figure out that I'm here and will kill the Akatsuki, but I really don't want to leave. It hurts. Naruto's tears are non-stop flowing now. He doesn't want to go back home but he knows he has to. Daddy, he croaks out. He wobbles his way towards his father figure. Itachi picks up the small blonde and rubs his back. Sorry Naruto, but you need to go back. His daddy says. Naruto nods, understanding. The door opens and a tall carrot-colored haired man walks in with Konan behind him. Naruto, I'll let you go once. But, the next time, I might not be able to, so please leave and live for a few more months. The Diva Path frowns. Uncle Carrot, Kon, Kuzu, same, D-Day, he, Toby, Sue, I love everyone, I promise to love you forever. I won't ever forget you. The blonde yells as he is being carried off by Itachi, Sasori behind him. They walk a while until they stop at where Itachi found Naruto. Naruto, stay still, Itachi tells the child. Naruto, giving up, obeyed his father's commands and stayed very still, dry tear marks on his face. Daddy, sorry, I love you too, please don't forget about me. Naruto pleads, of course we won't forget about you. But, we need you to forget about us. Itachi says, what? No. Naruto tries to protest but stares right into the Sharingan. Sorry Naruto. He hears Itachi say, but daddy, promised, not to, use Sharingan, on me. Naruto cries again, falling sleepier and sleepier until he falls unconscious, losing his memories of ever being with the Akatsuki. Itachi's POV. I bit back soft cries as I let Sasori break the jutsu casted on him. I watch as his body changes and grows larger, losing his baby fat and taking the form of his normal self. Sasori leaves a scroll in his pocket with all the things we ever gave him. Why did you give him that scroll? He won't remember anyways, I ask. As I reversed his de-aging, I also changed the way your Sharingan erased his memories. He'll remember in about a few weeks. He sighs. But that's dangerous, I exclaim. Itachi, it's best you forget about that little puppet. Your emotions are out in the open now. Sasori says as we walk back into the base. I sigh and hurried back into my room and sat on the bed. Daddy, I missed you. Did you kick ass on this mission? Naruto's voice echoed out in the room. Great, now I feel even more alone. I mumbled to myself and raised my arm to cover my eyes. Sasori's POV. I sat down on my chair as I look around and noticed a spot on my table missing. That's where the puppet I gave to Naruto used to sit. Thanks Sori. I love you. I sigh. I'm not supposed to feel emotions. I'm a broken puppet. Deidara's POV. I create a small clay bird, in hopes of getting rid of the memories of the small ball of sunshine. D-Day. I'm flying. Look, I groan. This isn't working. In fact it's making it worse. I blew the clay bird up and plopped on my bed. That pipsqueak better remember how it felt to fly. Kakuzu's POV. I use my string to stitch Hidan's head back into place and sighed. He keeps beheading himself ever since the squirt left. I watch as my string waves about. Whoa, Kuzu, that's so cool. I grit my teeth together and try to ignore this weird nagging feeling in my chest. What has the squirt done to me? Hidan's POV. The feeling of beheading myself in pain doesn't feel nice anymore. It doesn't hurt but it hurts where my heart is. Is this what sadness and guilt feels like? Guilt that I didn't say anything last words to the chibi? Guilt that I let him leave? Guilt that I'm going to have to kill him one day? This hurts. Kisami's POV. I stare at my room. I stare at the wall. This is depressing. Who would have thought I would become so empty when the little shrimp is gone? I knew this was going to happen. Ninjas aren't supposed to have emotions. Same. Come swim with me like the fishy you are. I even miss his tauntings. How bad is this depressing state? I'm bored. Zetsu's POV. I watch as yet another flower wilts and rots. I clear up the flowers that have rotted and looked at the flowers that are about to wilt. One particular flower hasn't worked yet. The special orange one, the one I gave sunshine. I feel rotten. Obito's POV. This is wrong. I've abandoned all my emotions. This isn't emotion. This is guilt that I couldn't kill the Jinchuriki now. I've lost all my emotions and I only have one goal. That child has brainwashed me. All of a sudden, the Tsukuyomi sounds more like hell than a beautiful dream. I'm having doubts. Pain's POV. What's going on with my head and chest? Is this sadness? I haven't felt this in a while. What could I possibly be sad about? No, it's not because of Fishcake. No way. He is only needed for the Biju and that's it. I can't let personal feelings get in the way of my plans. I need some ramen. Conan's POV. I look at the empty kitchen. What used to be filled with ramen cups is now an empty space with nothing. Nothing. That's how my heart feels. It's empty, filled only with sadness. Unlike Nagato, I haven't rid of all my emotions. Only hardened them. Yet this one emotion has clearly overpowered them all. Is this sadness? Naru-chan. Naruto's POV. I stand up and feel slightly dizzy. What's going on? All I remember is chasing that guy, then a big flash of light. Oh shoot, I gotta get back to Konoha. I run towards the gates, then I pause. I look back the way I ran and thought hard. Huh? Something feels really wrong. I mumbled to myself. Naruto's POV. I run inside the gates but Katestu and Izumo stops me. Huh? Naruto? Izumo asks. That's right, TT Ibeo. Now I need to go see Granny Tsunade. See ya. I waved as I ran straight to the Hokage office. Granny. I yell and slam the door open. Inside the room was Sasuke, Sakura, Sai and Kakashi-sensei. They all look at me wide-eyed. Then I felt a kunai whiz past my cheek, grazing it a bit and caused blood to drop down. Teme, what the hell was that for? I yell at Sasuke, making sure you weren't a shadow clone this time. Sasuke says back, shadow clone? What are you talking about? I ask. Naruto, what is the last thing you remember? Granny asks me. Huh? Me and Sakura were chasing after this ninja who blew this large bright light, then I woke up just a couple minutes ago. I said. Naruto. Granny sighs. What? What's going on? There's something you guys aren't telling me. I say. Naruto. Last time we saw you was at Ichiraku Ramen, but that was a shadow clone. Sakura says. Plus, you were chasing that ninja a couple weeks ago. Kakashi sighs. Your birthday was 3 days ago. Sasuke says. Huh? What's happening? I ask confused. I believe that someone has messed with your memories. Granny says. My memories? But how? I ask. We aren't sure. For now we need to check up on you. Stand here. Granny says. I stand in front of her. She lifts my shirt up unexpectedly. Someone lifts my shirt up and concentrates some chakra on my stomach. There seems to be no problem. That person concludes. Problem? I ask. Nothing. Don't worry about it. You can leave now. He says. I hop off the desk as someone else walks outside and waited for me to rush out. Bye-bye Uncle Carrot. I yell and then slam the door close. There seems to be no problem with the seal. Granny concludes. I stay silent as I repeat that memory over and over in my head. Their faces are blurry and all I can hear are the voices. Who? Naruto? What's wrong? Kakashi asks worried as he sees my tears. Everyone looks at me concerned. Uncle Carrot? I say as I remember that one scene. He got a memory back. Granny says. A memory? Meaning there are other pieces of memories? Sakura asks. Yes. I checked in his head for a few seconds just earlier and it seems to be a temporary memory lock. Which means he'll remember everything in a few seconds, minutes or even days. Granny says. So what's with the Uncle Carrot? Sasuke asks. I drop to the floor, holding the table for support. Uncle Carrot. And another person. My voice was squeaky and baby-like. Everything was huge. I say. Another person? And who's Uncle Carrot? Kakashi asks. I don't know. I can't remember clearly at the moment. His hair is orange and the other person had raven black hair. I explain. Raven black hair? Are you sure Naruto? Kakashi asks. I nod. There's no one else with specifically raven black hair except for the Uchihas. Are you sure? Kakashi asks again. Uchiha. Uchiha. I yell as I remember something else. What? What is it? Sasuke asks. Uchiha. There were 2 Uchihas. I exclaim loudly. 2? But everyone knows that the only Uchihas left are Sasuke and Itachi. Kakashi says. Itachi? Itachi. Daddy? I say as another memory pop in my head. Naruto, it's not good to force the memories out. You need to give it time. Granny says. No, no, no way. Daddy. I stutter. Naruto, do you know who your dad is? Kakashi asks. No. Where's Daddy? He promised not to use that Sharingan on me. I yell as I let my tears fall freely, not bothered wiping them away. Sharingan? Sasuke asks. He promised not to erase my memories. Everyone, where are they now? Where are they? I yell. Naruto, calm down. Granny yells. Daddy. Everyone. Why? I ask as I squeeze my eyes shut. Naruto. Calm yourself. Sakura yells, slapping my cheek. I stop immediately and hold the cheek she slapped. Sakura. Sorry. You're right. I say. Now, what do you remember? Sasuke asks. I step away from Sasuke. I remember everything. Sasuke. Sorry. I'm sorry. Please. Please don't kill your brother. I beg. He looks taken aback, then overcome with anger. And why not? Sasuke yells. Please, I beg. Sasuke. Stop. You're going to make him feel worse. Kakashi says, holding Sasuke back. I need to know why I can't kill Itachi. He yells. I wince violently. No. Please. I don't want him to die. Please. When you see him again, call me. I ask. Please. Sasuke stops thrashing and starts thinking logically. Fine. He grunts. I sigh in relief. Naruto, we know it seems too much to ask, but we really need to know what happened while you were gone. Granny says. I nod. The bright light turned me into a child. I start off. A child? Sakura asks. Yes. Daddy found me and brought me back to the Akatsuki hideout. Then I pretended to forget my own memories and I started calling Daddy, Daddy. Then it sorta stuck. Then I met with Uncle Carrot and Khan. Then Daddy introduced me to the rest of the Akatsuki. D-Day. He, Kuzu, Sori, Sue, Same, Toby. They were all mean to me at first, but then I started loving them and they started loving me. Sori found a way to break the jutsu and return me to my normal body, but I refused. But I gave up in the end. Then Daddy erased my memories and I woke up. I explained. You're missing out a lot of details, Naruto. Kakashi sighs. Oh really? I chuckle. Yay. First of all, who's the one who posed as your dad? Sasuke asks. I freeze and look away. I'm sorry, Sasuke. My daddy was Uchiha Itachi. Naruto's POV. Itachi is your dad? Sasuke clutches his head in disbelief. Wait, then the blonde child that was with Deidara, Hidan and Itachi was actually you? Kakashi asks. I nod. Oh right, a scroll. They must have left me a scroll. I say, searching myself. I pick up a scroll in my pocket. They really left a scroll? Granny asks. I nod. I place the scroll on the table and open it up. OMG, no way. It's all my birthday presents. I yell in happiness. Birthday presents? They all ask. Yay. They threw me a birthday party. It was so fun and they got me presents. I smile. What did they give you? Granny asks. Well, Kuzu gave me a small safe with coins. Sori gave me a book and a puppet. Sue gave me a never-wilting flower. Same gave me a water gun that spits out water jutsu. Uncle Carrot gave me a ring. He gave me a red kunai. Toby gave me a yellow spiral mask. Khan gave me paper to control at my own free will. D-Day gave me clay bombs and Daddy gave me a teddy bear I named Sunny. Well, he helped me name it Sunny because he said that it reminded him of me. I blush. I pick up the teddy bear and held it close to my chest. Seems like you treasure Sunny the most. Sakura giggled. And no, it's just because he was my daddy at the time. I say, Daddy's little boy. Tsunade rolls her eyes. Well anyways, just one question. Sakura says. I ask. Well, I understand the other nicknames, but who's Uncle Carrot? She asks. I laugh. What? Sasuke asks. Yay, we're all curious. Kakashi says. I started telling them how I got to call him Uncle Carrot. Flashback. Naruto, we're going to meet leader again to check your seal. Okay? We need to make sure it's still there. Itachi says. Okay. I yell. As we enter the room, I see Pain seated on his chair. Leader Sama. I brought him. Itachi says respectfully. Good. Now, Naruto. Sit up here. He says, tapping the table. I look confused before running up and sitting on the table. Pain lifts my shirt up and concentrates some chakra on my stomach. There seems to be no problem. Pain concludes. Problem? I ask. Nothing. Don't worry about it. You can leave now. Pain says. I hop off the desk as Itachi walks outside and waited for me to rush out. Bye-bye Uncle Carrot. I yell and then slam the door close. Itachi freezes at the nickname and the sound the door made when slammed shut. I grin mischievously. You are going to be in so much trouble if he decides to hate you because of the nickname you gave him. Itachi told me as I climb up his leg and sits at his waistline, as he supports me, making sure I don't fall off. I merely giggle. Flashback end. Vawahaha. I laugh clutching my stomach. I wonder how you aren't dead yet. Sakura says. 3 weeks later. I try to figure out my memories and I think I've got them all now. I head to Granny Tsunade. Granny. I yell happily. Don't call me that Gaki. Something gets hurled my way. I dodged in time though. 3 knocks were heard on the door. Come in, Granny says loudly. The door opens and we get a message that Kankuro got poisoned. By the way, this isn't in the correct order of the anime or manga, but it's a fanfiction, so anything goes. We rushed to see Kankuro and when we got there, Kankuro was yelling bloody murder and breathing heavily. We don't have an antidote. I'm afraid on what's going to happen to him. Tamari says. We'll have to create an antidote from scratch. Sakura says. I step closer to Kankuro. Naruto, what are you doing? Sakura asks. This poison smell. I say looking at Kankuro and sniffing a bit. What? Sakura asks. Sorry? It's Sori's poison. I remember because it always smelled like this in his room. I yell. Do you know an antidote? Sakura asks. No, he never makes antidotes for his poisons. I shake my head. Sakura starts working on the antidote and I haven't seen Gaara yet. Where is he? Tamari. Where's Gaara? I ask. Her face saddens. We don't know. He's been missing for 3 days. I've kept everything running smoothly as Kankuro went to find him. Tamari whispers. Help me. I'm making stuff up now. Semicolon dash semicolon closing parenthesis. What? I yell. I rush out. Time skip to the huge ass boulder. Shinaro. Sakura yells as she punches the rock to smithers. Oh, we got found. I hear a really familiar voice inside. I see D-Day sitting on what seems like Gaara and Sori, in Hiriko standing next to him. They both look at me and stare. Nay, Donna. He looks. D-Day starts pointing to me. He remembers me? I thought for sure that they would have erased their own memories of me. Guess I was wrong. Naruto. It's no time to get emotional. I hear Sakura yell. Naruto? D-Day asks. I flinch and I can already feel tears in my eyes. Pipsqueak? D-Day asks again. I drop to the ground and I can feel myself trembling. Pipsqueak? What's wrong? D-Day asks with a worried expression, then he freezes, realizing that he wasn't supposed to sound worried. Sakura, Granny Chio, Sasuke and Kakashi stare at D-Day in shock. D-Day. Sorry. I say trying to get up and walk towards them. Stay away puppet. I don't want to kill you. Sori says. But I thought that why you love me. I say. Do you know how much it hurts when someone close to you said they were going to kill you? D-Day and Sori don't say anything. D-Day, Sori. Remember? I promised I wouldn't kill you and that I loved everyone. You said that you loved me too. I say, walking closer to them. Naruto. I hear Sakura mumble. Sori and D-Day don't move as I clutch both their cloaks. Please, don't do this. I pled. Pipsqueak. Puppet. They both say at the same time. This isn't right. This isn't world peace. I beg. Sori sighs. Naruto. What are you doing? Kakashi asks. I ignore them and think quickly. I hang down to my 4-year-old self. Sori. D-Day. I yell, tugging their cloaks. They visibly freeze and look down. Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi and Granny Chio look shocked at what I was doing but just let me. D-Day hesitantly picks me up. Naruto. My team yells, thinking D-Day was going to hurt me. I smile at him. D-Day, I love you so much. Do you love me too? I ask innocently. Yay, whatever Pipsqueak. D-Day says, ruffling my hair. So it's true. The boy really has Akatsuki wrapped around his finger. Granny Chio sighs. I smile widely before he handed me to Sori. Sori too? I ask. Yay, he says and turns around. I jump out of his grasp just as he jumps out of his puppet. Sori. I giggle happily as he picks me up. That's not possible. Sasori should be well over his 20s. Granny Chio says. Sori is a puppet. I say, tapping his cheek. Even if I am a puppet, that's still annoying. he says, pulling my hand away from his cheek. Hey sorry, D-Day, where's Uncle Carrot? I ask. You'll meet him soon, but for now, what should we do? D-Day asks. I ask in confusion. Well, we decided to stop this world peace thing. So we don't know what to do anymore. We are S-rank criminals. Sori explains. Oh, join Konoha with me. I yell and tug on their cloaks again. Puppet, we would love to, but we aren't sure how your Hokage would like that. Sori says. I'll convince her. Please don't leave me. I beg and bury my face in the crook of his neck. What about your teammates, Pipsqueak? They must want to kill us. D-Day says. If Naruto trusts you, then I will too. Sakura says, as everyone else agrees. D-Day and Sori give me a warm smile and I return it with a grin. After this, Granny Chio gives her life to save Gaara, yay. Back to Konoha. Talk no Jutsu is a strong and overpowered technique. Don't try this at home, kids. Naruto's POV. I'm back to my teenage self, walking happily between D-Day and Sori, holding their hands. Puppet, is this really necessary? Sori asks, holding up our intertwined hands. Of course, otherwise you might leave again. I say, we won't leave you. D-Day says. Humph, you said that last time. I say, puffing my cheeks out. They both sigh and just let me do whatever I want. Naruto, you know that you'll have to let go of them when we enter the gates, right? Otherwise it'll look suspicious. Sasuke deadpans. Gay? No way. I whine and clutch their hands tighter. Pipsqueak, we really won't go anywhere. D-Day laughs and ruffles my hair with his free hand. I know that, but, I mumble. Naruto, now is no time to be selfish. If they get found out, then at worst, they can be executed. Kakashi sighs. No, I yell. Then let go of them. We're at the gates already. Sakura says. I reluctantly let go of them, but stayed in between them. As we crossed the gate, no one said anything because Sori and D-Day were with us. Which is lucky. We enter the Hokage office with a loud bang. Granny, I yell, rushing inside. How many times do I have to tell ya to stop calling me that Gaki? I hear a yell and a smash. I squeak and hide behind Sori and D-Day. These guys are? Granny asks. Sasori of the Red Sand. Sori says. Deidara. D-Day says. Please don't kill Sori and D-Day, Granny. I beg. Akatsuki. Granny sighs. I beg with my eyes. Fine, but only because they didn't kill you or make you feel worse than you did before. She says. Yay. I grin. Hurry. Let's go to Ichiraku's, D-Day, Sori. I jump up and down, pulling them with me. Wait, Naruto. Get rid of the Akatsuki cloaks. I hear Granny yell. I roll my eyes and tug their cloaks off them, dropping them to the ground, then running off at full speed to get some ramen. I'm not surprised this is happening. Sori mumbles. It's Pipsqueak. What do you expect? D-Day sighs. I laugh. On the way to Ichiraku, we bump into Shikamaru. I freeze because Kuzu recently killed Asuma-sensei. Of course I feel sad for that, and even more so because Kuzu killed someone precious to my precious people. Puppet? Sori asks, noticing my freeze. D-Day stops as well and looks where I'm looking. Hey, isn't he one of the brats of the guy Kakuzu killed? D-Day asks. I hit him and he lets out an oof sound. Naruto? Shikamaru asks. Gulp. Oh hey Shikamaru. I strain a smile. Damn it. Sori and D-Day are here. He's too damn smart for this world. He'll figure out there in Akatsuki soon. Well, I'm very hungry. I'ma go now. I say quickly, dragging D-Day and Sori along. Just a minute, Shikamaru says, grabbing my shoulder. I see Sori and D-Day's eyes and hands twitch, glaring a hole in Shikamaru. Man, they're too overprotective. Yes? I ask, sweating buckets now. Who are they? Shikamaru asks, pointing to D-Day and Sori. Oh them. Hokage-sama let them, visit. And I'm giving them a tour. Yes, a tour. I laugh awkwardly. Shikamaru's eyes narrow. Shikamaru's POV. Naruto's sweating. He doesn't want me to know about those two behind him. When I touched him, those two started twitching. They're overprotective for a reason. They didn't just visit Konoha. Naruto used a respectful term for Hokage-sama. He's nervous. He wants to escape me. He knows I'll figure something out about those two. I heard about the Naruto and Akatsuki case since Hokage-sama needed me to help with figuring out who the Akatsuki were, from Naruto's memory. While I was calculating, they left and went to Ichiraku. Whatever. These two look familiar. Don't tell me they're from Akatsuki. Let me think. Red hair, must be Sasori. Blonde, long hair. Deidara. Puppet. You're ordering too much. I hear the red hair say. Puppet? Sasori calls Naruto that if I remember. They must be part of the Akatsuki then. Makes sense on why Naruto wanted to avoid me. Oh well, not like I hate them. They took care of Naruto after all. I walk away, thinking about things. Naruto's POV. After our little trip to Ichiraku's, I take Sori and D-Day to Training Ground 7. I pat my stomach in satisfaction and sat down. Sori sat next to me and D-Day sat next to Sori. I yawn and lean into Sori. Puppet? Sori asks in surprise. Shish. Am tired. I mumble and fall onto his lap. I feel him stroking my hair. It doesn't feel like Itachi's but it still feels nice. Sasori's POV. I stroke his soft blonde hair as he falls asleep on my lap. You really have a soft spot for him. Deidara laughs. Not like you don't. I retort. Touché. Deidara grumbles. It was silent for a couple more minutes while we listened to Puppet's soft breathing. Daddy. We hear Naruto mumble in his sleep. I sigh. He's still attached to Itachi? Deidara asks in disbelief. Apparently. I reply. Hey, you hear that? He's still attached to you. Deidara chuckles to someone in the trees. You should return. You have a child now and a little brother. I say as well to the person in the trees. I would have done it ages ago if it wasn't so hard. The person replies. He's waiting for you, you know? Deidara asks the person. I want to be there with him. But I'm not sure the village will let me back in. He replies again. Well, hurry and do whatever you can. Your child is going to get depressed if you die. Itachi. I sigh. Itachi nods before disappearing back into the woods. Naruto moves around a bit before opening good eyes again. He jerks up and looks around. What's wrong? Deidara asks. Daddy. It felt like Daddy was here. Naruto says looking at us with a frantic look. He wasn't. I hesitate to say. Naruto slumps back down. Oh, I must have been imagining things then. Must be because of my headache. He mumbles. Headache? What headache? I ask. Huh? Oh, nothing. He says and moves off me. Pipsqueak. Why the hell are you burning up? Deidara yells and pushes Naruto to the ground, hand over his forehead. I am not burning up. Naruto yells and pushes Deidara as strong as he can, which by the way felt like a light tap to Deidara. Your strength is gone too. There is something you aren't telling us. Deidara says as he gets a bone-chilling aura around him. Naruto pales and shivers slightly. I don't know. This had never happened before. Naruto yells. What? You've never gotten sick before? Deidara yells in disbelief. Of course not. I have the Kyuubi inside me. He would have gotten rid of any diseases before it even touched me. Naruto yells back. Gasp. Watch your tone, Pipsqueak. That's not how you speak to me. Deidara says and puts his hands on his hips just because. I'm not a baby. Naruto retaliates. Well, you were a baby when I met you. So it's natural to scold a baby when they're doing the wrong thing. Deidara sticks his tongue out. As much as I find the fact you guys are fighting like a bunch of babies amusing. We need to get Puppet's temperature checked out. I stop their argument. Sorry, I'm not a baby. Naruto glares at me. I stare at him with an emotionless stare before crouching down and stroking his hair. He relaxes immediately and leans into the touch. Only a baby likes getting stroked on the head. Deidara smirks. Naruto pulls back quickly. No, it's not. This isn't. Arg. Naruto stutters. Deidara laughs while I smirk slightly. It's only because I've never been stroked on the head as a child. Naruto manages to yell in his flustered state. Deidara's laughter ceases immediately and my smirk gets replaced with a frown. That's right. I forgot that you were hated by the villagers. They didn't harm you in any way, did they? Deidara smiles sweetly. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. They're nice people. Naruto answers a bit too quickly. Just perfect. I've been wondering who to give my art to as a present recently. Deidara cracks his knuckles. I also have a few poisons that need testing on. Worry not, they'll be tested on animals. I assure Naruto with a smile of my own. Absolutely not. Naruto jumps up then winces and falls to the ground clutching his head. How in the world did you get sick anyways? I ask. Ahahaha. I might have or might not have jumped into the freezing cold lake just outside the Akatsuki base before my birthday party when I was a child. Naruto says in a weak voice, still managing to say it all with a weak smile. Hey, wasn't your Uncle Carrot watching you at that time? Did he not warn you? Deidara asks with his scary aura once again. No, he did warn me. But I was a child and being rebellious, so I ignored him. It's my fault, Naruto says quickly. I twitch. Oh, I see. Then, your punishment is to stay in bed for the next 3 days while me and Deidara treat you back to normal health. Without ramen. I smile. No, what is family? Naruto sobs. Deidara and I laugh at that and I pick him up casually, seeing as he doesn't look like he'll move anytime soon. Deidara's POV. We walk through the streets with Naruto in Sasori's arms, breathing heavily and face covered in sweat. I sense people around us just staring and whispering at us. Is that Uzumaki Naruto? What's he doing in that red man's arms? Is he sick? Who are the other two besides Naruto? Should we tell Hokage-sama? I groan mentally as we reach Naruto's apartment. How he got through all the stares and whispers when he was a child every single day, I do not know. I sigh. For now, just tell the Hokage about his fever. She'll be able to do something about it. Sasori says and lays Naruto down on the couch. Got it, I say as I lazily walk out the door. I jump over the roofs of houses and reach the window of the Hokage office. I jump inside. Hokage-sama, I say in a sing-song voice. Deidara, I'm in the middle of something. She sighs. This is important, I say. What could possibly be more important than me about to send the old team Asuma on a mission to get Kakuzu and Hidan? She says and slams the table. You might not want to do that, I say quickly. And why not? A crazy blonde-haired girl with a purple outfit yells at me. Who are you? A fat guy with a red outfit asks. The other person was Naruto's friend that we met before he ate the ramen. Shikamaru, if I remember. Well, first of all, Naruto would get upset and probably be in a more depressed state than now if you kill them, and second of all, Naruto's sick, I say. He's what? The female, one hell of a banshee Hokage yells and stands up quickly. Yay. Me and Sasori put him on the couch back at his home. You might want to check on him, he's never gotten sick before. I say as I check if any dirt got into my nails. Mission off for now. Chouji, Ino, tell the Konoha 12. Shikamaru with me. The Hokage yells and walks out the door. I follow at a slow pace but got bored, so just jumped to Naruto's apartment. I sit on the couch above Naruto's head while his head is on Sasori's lap. The door bursts open and the female Hokage walks in with the Nara behind him. Shikamaru just stares at us with an eyebrow arched. Don't ask. If you really want to know, then ask Pipsqueak here. I say. No, it's nothing like that. It's just that I never would have guessed that 2S ranked criminals would act like this. Sure, I know that you guys took care of him when he got turned into a child, but still. The Nara chuckles a bit. I roll my eyes. But freeze. You know? I ask. Well, yeah. I had to figure anything about you guys from Naruto's memories. Meaning, I know everything. He shrugs. I sigh. He's fine. Just a small fever. Must have taken a while to affect him because of the Kyuubi. Tsunade says. Give him some rest, medicine, and surround him with people he loves. Yay. He loves Itachi. In a fatherly way, of course. Sasori says. Of course. Tsunade face palms. If he was near, I would grab him and force him to come into the village and cure Naruto. If he was near EY? I smile. You know something I don't. Tell me. Tsunade states. Itachi is in the village. Just hiding because the village hates him for the apparent Uchiha massacre. I say, well, what are you doing? Go get him. She yells and shoves me a piece of paper before pushing me out the window. God, stupid blondes. I yell in my head as I jump around looking for Itachi. I rushed out and searched for Itachi's chakra. Can't find him. I shrugged, then let out a lot of chakra, knowing he would come. Deidara, did you need something? Itachi asks, appearing in front of me. Your blonde child is sick. I say. He's what? He exclaims. Yep. You also have permission from Hokage to enter the village without being killed. I say and unroll the scroll she shoved in my face, then showed it to him. Great, thanks CYA. He says quickly and rushes to Naruto. I chuckle before following. When I reach the apartment, I see Itachi stroking Naruto's head. I decide to leave them alone. Itachi's POV. How the hell did he get sick? I watch him relax and his breathing got steady. Uchiha Itachi. Tsunade calls from behind me. Tsunade-sama. I bow in respect. She nods. I give you my permission to move back into Konoha, as well as the truth behind the Uchiha massacre will be explained to the village. She says, thank you Tsunade-sama. I say, for the things you've done for Naruto. I should at least do this much. She smiles. I smile back. Now, go and take care of him. He doesn't know where you are or if you're safe or not, he's pretty worried. She says and leaves. I sense her take Sasori and Deidara away as well, so I sat down next to Naruto. How is he going to react when he wakes up? I stroke his hair and relax myself. He stirs a bit and stops immediately. Daddy? He asks while rubbing his eye, which by the way was extremely adorable. Yes? I ask, continuing to pay his hair. He jumps up. Daddy? He yells in shock and stares at me. I tilt my head to the side. He crawls towards me and pokes me, making sure I was real. I mentally sigh. Naruto, it's really me, so can you stop poking me? I chuckle. He stops and stares at me once again before engulfing me in a hug. I let out a silent, oof, before hugging him back. Where were you? Where did you go? What were you doing? Why did you leave me alone? You said you wouldn't Sharingan me. He rambles on and on. Okay, calm down. I'll explain everything after you recover. I laugh. He pouts but doesn't let go. We stay like that for a while. I love you, Daddy. He mumbles. I smile. Me too. Itachi's POV. After Naruto got better, I gave him the explanation he wanted. He's been clinging onto me ever since, afraid I'd be gone when he wakes up. Not that I'm complaining. Daddy? He calls. I hum in reply. Are you going to stay with me forever now? He asks. Naruto has also been asking me these kinds of questions with worry and fear all over his face. Of course. I smile and ruffle his hair. He lets go a breath in relief. Now, you've been cooped up in here for 2 days now. Why don't you head out? I ask. No, he whines in a quiet voice, as he's attached to my arm. Why not? It's not healthy. I say. Wanna stay with you. He says. I'll come with you then. I say, hoping he gets out of the house. He's going to get sick again if he stays inside for too long. He thinks about it for a moment. Tsunade-sama has already told everyone the truth about the Uchiha massacre and explained it to my brother. My brother should be looking for me now to confirm it all. That's what Tsunade-sama told me. Although he's never thought to check in Naruto's apartment. He nods hesitantly against my arm. I stand up and he intertwine our fingers, still having an arm around mine. I didn't mind though. Where are we going? He asks. We are going to go to a training ground. I answer. To sleep? He asks. I laugh. No, Naruto. We're going to train a bit. I say. He huffs but doesn't decline the offer to train. We walk out onto the streets and everyone throws me pity looks before seeing Naruto latched onto my arm and become confused. Naruto? Nara Shikamaru and his team calls as he sees his blonde hair. He turns around along with me and two of them jump back quickly. Uchiha? Itachi? The two exclaim in shock. Gee guys, don't attack. Naruto yells and pushes me back a bit. What are you talking about? That's the Uchiha Itachi. Ino yells. He's. Naruto shakes his head. Guys, honestly, think about it. If he really was bad then he wouldn't be out and walking around freely. Plus he's with Naruto and Naruto knows who's bad or not. Adding to that, Naruto has the talk no jutsu. Plus, Tsunade-sama has already explained about his apparent wrongdoings. Shikamaru sighs. They allow themselves to relax a bit after listening to Shikamaru. I guess you're right, but does Sasuke know this? Ino asks. Naruto shrugs as Ino sighs in disbelief. I don't know how he'll react to this. Naruto sighs. Knowing my little brother, he might be trying to find me to ask and clarify what Tsunade-sama has told everyone. I say, what if he takes you away? Naruto asks me with puppy dog eyes. I flinch at it. God dang it. He knows how much his puppy dog eyes affect me. I won't let that happen. I finally say. He brightens up a bit. Itachi. I hear a yell. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Sasuke walks towards me cautiously. I'm not going to harm you, Oto. Especially when Naruto is here. I sigh. Naruto pouts at me. I pat his head and he smiles. Sasuke stares at our interaction. Before you say anything, yes, what Tsunade-sama said is true. I say looking at him. He closes his mouth and ponders over what I said. Got it. I forgive you. Ni-san, he says quietly. I give him a small smile but Naruto frowns at that. What's wrong? I ask him. He's not going to make you go back with him and have a whole year of brother bonding time, right? Naruto asks with real fear etched into his voice. I blink at the question before laughing out loud. Ni-san is laughing. I faintly hear. I ignore that statement and place a hand on Naruto's head. While I did this, Shikamaru explained that Naruto got turned into a baby and I was his father in the Akatsuki. Of course not. Sure, I'll spend some time with my Oto, but I pause for a bit, thinking about how I should word this to make him happy. I then smile as I find the right wording. I wouldn't want to abandon my son, now would I? I ask with amusement as he blushes with embarrassment. Our ages aren't that far apart, so it's embarrassing if you say that. He stutters and playfully hits my arm a couple of times. I chuckle. That doesn't change our bond within the Akatsuki though. Besides, you were the one who started calling me Daddy first. I say. He puffs his cheeks out in playful anger before latching onto my arm again. Wait, this is weird, Naruto says suddenly. We all stare at him with raised eyebrows. Does this mean that Sasuke is my uncle? Naruto gags. In your dream, Dobi, Sasuke says with killing intent as well as a mini Chidori in his hand, ready to kill something. Naruto gulps and hides behind me. Daddy, Naruto whines, in hopes of me protecting him. And it's working. Sasuke, ignore what my foolish son said. I sigh. I'm allowed to call him that now, right? Since I'm technically his adoptive parent figure now. Sasuke seems to cringe slightly at the son part but nods slightly nonetheless. No matter how many times you'll say that he's your son, I'll still have trouble getting used to it. Troublesome. Shikamaru sighs. Spoken like a true Nara. Naruto pulls his tongue out in a teasingly manner. That's because I am a true Nara. Shikamaru playfully and sarcastically bites back. Oh sorry, I thought for sure you were the Easter Bunny. Naruto says just as sarcastically, if not more. Okay. As much as I find this amusing, we need to get you to the training grounds. I say to Naruto. He pouts once again and I'm thinking he's going to turn that into a habit. Can I come too, Ni-san? Sasuke asks. Of course Oto. I say as I start turning away to head towards the training ground. We better get going too. Choji says to his team. Alright, bye Shikamaru-kun, Choji-kun, Ino-chan. I wave my free hand. They wave back and they start heading off. Sasuke starts tailing along beside me while Naruto looks at Sasuke with warning glances and me with worried glances. I inwardly chuck Klee at his jealousy and ruffle his hair. Itachi's POV. Naruto continues to glare at Sasuke as we walk in silence. I see Sasuke twitch from time to time. Okay, that's it. Dobi, stop glaring at me. Sasuke finally snaps. I can't help it. What if you steal Daddy and then kill him? Naruto yells back. That's not going to happen. Sasuke yells. Oh, you're one to talk. Mister, I'm going to kill a certain man and revenge my clan. Naruto retorts. At least I'm way more mature than you when it comes to your jealousy. Sasuke scoffs. Proving his maturity, Naruto sticks his tongue out and blows a raspberry. I inwardly chuckle with amusement. We reach the training ground in a matter of minutes and see Kakashi there. He's sitting on a branch and reading his book. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto yells. Kakashi blinks and looks at our direction. Yo Naruto. Sasuke. Itachi. He waves a hand up, greeting us as he jumps down from the tree. It's been a while, Kakashi-senpai. I nod my head. Ma, that's true. He smiles. Sensei, what are you doing here? Naruto asks. Reading, he says, pointing at the branch he was sitting on. Can you even call it a book? I question quietly to myself. Naruto, who is closest to me at the moment, looks up at me and snickers. I smiled gently at it. So, the whole I turned into a baby and Itachi is my daddy is real? Kakashi asks, gesturing to me and Naruto, who is still attached to my arm. What's it look like? Sasuke scoffs. Ma, what's got you so angry this morning? Kakashi averts his eye to Sasuke. The Dobi was being an idiot and thought I was going to kill my brother, so he kept glaring at me the whole morning. He twitches. Kakashi smiles at Naruto. Jealousy is a weakness, he says. I am not jealous. Naruto yells. It looks like jealousy to me. I chuckle. You traitor. Naruto points an accusing finger at me dramatically. It's adorable anyways, so it doesn't matter. I smile. Naruto's face blows up in red and he stutters. Adorable? Naruto's POV. Before I could blow up and complain about being called adorable, an Anbu appears in front of us. Hokage-sama requests all your presents, he says before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. I sigh. Let's go, Sasuke says. I follow him to Ba-san's office. I slap the door open. Ba-san, we were gonna train, I complain. Naruto, this is serious, she says. I straightened subconsciously. Yes? I ask. I believe that the two Akatsuki members Kakuzu and Hidan are in this area, she says and points to the area on a map. I gulp. Kuzu. I mutter. Daddy. I tug Itachi's sleeve. He gives me a reassuring pat on the head. I'm giving you the mission of taking these two back to Konoha, Hokage-sama says. I nod. You might want to hurry. Team Shikamaru has already left, she says. I twitch. Without answering her, I left immediately, dragging Itachi with me. Kakashi-sensei and Sasuke behind us. I jump in the middle of the battle and created a crater on the ground. Sakura, Sasuke, Daddy and Kakashi-sensei behind me. What's going on? Ino yells. Relax, Ino. It's just us. Sakura smiles. Ino sighs in relief. Sakura runs to where Ino is and starts healing Choji and her. Shikamaru. I know he killed Asuma-sensei. But, I hesitate saying, no, I get it. I wasn't going to kill him anyways. Shikamaru says. Thanks, Shikamaru. I give an apologetic smile. Yay, whatever. Hurry up, all this is so troublesome, he says and makes a shooing motion with his hand. I chuckle and walk forward, so the smoke that was blocking us faded in the background. Who the hell are you? Hidan asks. I tilt my head slightly. You don't remember me? I did my best, puppy dog eyes no jutsu. Chibi, squirt? Both he and Kuzu asked at the same time. What's going on? Choji asks. It's like they know each other. Ino says. That's because they do. Shikamaru says. I slowly walk towards them. They didn't move, not knowing whether to hug me or kill me. So I decided for them. I put an arm around both of them and relax into them. He drops his weapon and hesitantly put his arm around my back. Kuzu, with his strings flooding out his back mind you, also puts an arm around me. I chuckle and grab a string. That's still cool, Yano? I say. Kuzu scoffs. Sorry, D-Day and Daddy is in Konoha. Come with me, I demand. Still as spoiled as you can be. Kuzu sighs. And what do you mean that they're in Konoha, Chibi? He asks. I'm not spoiled. Now carry me, my legs hurt from running so far away. I say and pat Kuzu's arm. He rolls his eyes but picks me up nonetheless. You didn't answer my question. He scolded. They joined Konoha. Sir, I mock salute. He also rolls his eyes. Well, if Konoha accepts us, I don't mind going. He shrugs. Kuzu nods. Woohoo. I hooray and throw my hands in the air as Kuzu was still carrying me bridal style. Kuzu and he walk towards Shikamaru's team. So, truce? He hesitantly asks. Truce? Truce? Ino spits as she picks up a kunai. Hey. Wait, hold just hey. White flag. White flag. He yells and holds up Kuzu's string and waves it around. Kuzu twitches in annoyance and slams him against a pillar of rock. I snicker and Kuzu smiles at that. Let's go. Kuzu sighs. Team Shikamaru hesitated first but saw me around them really comfortably, so they just followed. You know, Naruto, if you're going to keep your bonds with the Akatsuki within the village, you're going to have to explain your whole situation. Only the Hokage, me, Shikamaru and Sasuke know about you and the Akatsuki at the moment. Kakashi-sensei says. I sigh. I know, but it's embarrassing. I mumble. Kuzu pinches my cheek. What's so embarrassing about us being your adoptive family? Huh? Kuzu narrows his eyes. Wah, Kazu, stop. I try to push his hand off my cheek. Kakashi-sensei merely laughs as we all head back to Konoha. Naruto's POV. I pout with my arms crossed as I look up at Kuzu. We are currently at a training ground, Daddy, sorry, D-Day, he, Kuzu, Kakashi, Sasuke, Choji, Ino, Shikamaru and me. Don't look at me like that. Blame your teacher. He asked the question. Kuzu sighs. I huff and continue to pout. Ma, it was just a thought. Kakashi giggles pervertedly. Who knew Kakashi had a side like that, huh? Ino asks. It was surprising to say the least. Choji says. Yay, I didn't even suspect anything like that. Shikamaru adds. It was something. Even I didn't know. Daddy says. What? It wasn't that embarrassing. Kuzu says. You idiot Kuzu. How do you not find that embarrassing? I yell at him. Flashback. We were all walking back to Konoha. So, Itachi. Kakashi starts. Hi? Daddy asks. Who's the mother? He asks. Mother? Daddy asks back. Yay. If you're the father, then who's the mother? Kakashi asks. Daddy goes a little pink and turns around to me. Who do, or did, you think was going to be the mother Naruto? Daddy asks. I turn crimson. What are you talking about? I yell as I heard the conversation from the start, only because no one was really talking anyways. Well, there's only one woman in the organization. Kuzu says. Is that so? A woman as the mother and Itachi as the father? How boring. Couldn't it have at least been a trap? Kakashi says. It was silent for a moment. Wait, what did you even think? Everyone yells. What? Of course I would have thought the mother was a male. We didn't get all the information of the Akatsuki after all. How would I know if there was a female or not? Kakashi says. Even though, a male? I yell. What? Are you against gays? Kakashi sighs. Well, are you? Ino asks. How can I be against my own kind? Kakashi says like it was casual. Wait, what? Flashback end. A trap, he said. A trap. As if there was someone like that in the AKATSUO. Wait, there is. I remember. Huh? Since when? Everyone yells. What? He was always so girly and he was scary when he's angered like a woman. He even cooks and he's like a housewife. I say. WHO is IT? Everyone practically bursts my eardrums, Akatsuki even more so. You haven't noticed? It's D-Day. I say, pointing to the long-haired male. He jolts in shock at the mention of his name and then he yells aloud. EHHHHHHHHHHHHH? Everyone was staring at him. Bawahahahahahaha. He bursts in laughter and starts pointing at him. Now that you mention it. Sori says. Holy shit, I can see it. Kuzu says. Okay number. Just. No. Daddy says as he shivers slightly. But remember? That one time, I start. Flashback. D-Day. I call out. What is it? He asks. I run into the kitchen and see him sitting by the table. Hungry. I say. Go ask someone else to cook. He grumbles as he plays with his clay and doesn't look at me. But no one can cook properly and Daddy says I need to eat proper food to grow big and strong. I say, staring at the ground, about to burst to tears at the tone he was using. D-Day flinches at that and looks at me. He then sighs and runs a hand through his hair. He leans down and picks me up gently. Don't tell the others about this, okay? He says in a softer tone as to not scare me. I nod slowly. He gives me a small smile and strokes my hair. Good boy, he says as he stands up and starts to grab ingredients out of the cupboards. I grin and sat on the chair patiently. Probably too patiently that I fell asleep. I woke up to someone rocking me slightly. It was warm. A blurry figure appeared in my sight as I'm still waking up slowly. Mummy? I mumble. What was that, Naruto? He asks. My eyes cleared a bit and I look at him carefully. D-Day? I ask. Yay? What's wrong? When I turned around you were asleep, so I figured you just got tired. I was waiting for you to wake up, then you can have your meal. He says. Still tired, but hungry. I say. Alright then. D-Day says in his mummy tone. He sits me straight, leaning against his chest, and brings a spoon to my mouth. I didn't hesitate to engulf the spoon and anything on it. Yummy. I mumble and I hear a soft chuckle against my back. Do you like it, Naruto? It's my best dish. His voice was radiating warmth and I leaned back farther into his chest. I nodded and I heard the chuckle again. Flashback end. And that's what happened. I say. Why, Naruto? You can't just tell them that. You promised like a good boy. I'm not cooking for you for a week. D-Day yells in embarrassment. Yep, I can see it now. Shikamaru yawns. Yay, he even said, like a good boy. Ino giggles. What a mother hen. Choji says. Mother hen? I'll have you know I'm scary when I'm angered. D-Day yells. Definitely a mother. How have I never seen the signs? He laughs. Well, he never really cooked for us. Only took care of our wounds and helped us out with problems. And cleaned our rooms. And washed our clothes. And cleaned the base. Sori trails off. Why, you guys? D-Day yells. Ah, don't worry, D-Day, I'll still love you even if you do become my mummy. I smile at him and snuggles against his side. He nearly melts at my hug but steals his eyes. I'm not your mummy, he yells again. Everyone laughs this time and starts teasing D-Day while he splutters in embarrassment. Naruto's POV. Naruto. I hear Daddy call. I spin around with a questioning look. Everyone's gathering at the training ground again. He says, I'm coming. I grin. I know. He chuckles. We walk towards the training grounds and I grin as I run towards the rest of the Akatsuki. Sorry. He. D-Day. Kuzu. I wave. Finally. We need to decide how to find the rest of the Akatsuki. Kuzu says. My grin falters and I run slightly slower, stopping completely just in front of them. Oh, okay. Who are we looking for? I ask. Well, actually, we thought it would be a good idea for you to burst your chakra out and send a distress signal. Sori says. I blink and point at myself with a questioning look. They all roll their eyes. It has to be you. They won't come unless it's you. D-Day explains. Why? I ask. They all sigh. Itachi. You tell him. He'll listen to you. D-Day says. I raise an eyebrow. Naruto. We all care for you and so we want to protect you. That means if the other Akatsuki think that you're in a life-threatening situation, they'll come running. Daddy says. Oh, okay. I grin. Well, we kind of have to warn the village first or else they'll think that you're actually dying. Kuzu says. I tense at that. What will they think? They don't know that the Akatsuki are my family now. Will they hate me again? I felt myself pale. I feel Daddy place a reassuring hand on my shoulder. I nod in thanks. They walk with me to the Hokage's office and I wince at every pair of eyes that landed on me and the group. Daddy knocks on the door and I hear a faint, come in. We walk inside and I run up the wall and sit on the ceiling, trying to avoid Ba-chan. Naruto. Down now. Ba-chan says. I pout and drop down. Now. Deidara sent me a clay bird and told me about your plans and I think it would be for the best if that happens. Ba-chan nods. I go pale. I'll get everyone together at the center of the village to explain. Ba-chan says. We understand. Naruto? Daddy turns to me. I tense and I think he notices because he sighs and places a hand on my head. I'm sorry that we're making this difficult for you. I know we're taking a huge risk here but if the village ends up hating you again, the Akatsuki will take care of you. He says as his eyes soften. I give him a nod and a small pained smile which he returns. But should we really just drop a bomb on them so quickly? Kuzu asks. I personally think it'll be funny. Ba-chan grins. We all sweat drop at her. What? Being Hokage isn't fun. I need some sort of entertainment once in a while. She shrugs. I ignore that statement and focus on my adopted, S-class filled, potentially dangerous scratch that, ahem, very dangerous, family. They all seemed tense and nervous about this. D-Day and he were showing their nervousness openly while Kuzu's eyes were slightly more narrowed. Sori was tapping his fingers slowly and Daddy was a bit more on guard. Ba-chan stood on top of the Hokage tower and looked out at the village. Citizens of Konoha, I would like to have all attention. She yells. Well, that's one way to tell the village. D-Day whispers to he. I know, right? I thought she was going to put it on the newspaper or something. He whispers back. I thought she was going to tell a few important people and let them tell everyone else. Sori says. Wasn't she going to get a Yamanaka to link all the minds mentally and tell them like that? Kuzu asks. I roll my eyes at them. Sometimes the Akatsuki can be like gossiping schoolgirls. Nonetheless, the whole village had gathered at the bottom of the Hokage tower. The village sounds like a beehive with all the whispering and murmuring. Silence. Ba-chan yells. Everyone shuts up immediately. What I am about to tell you now is information that I understand most of you will not like or have growimg doubts. But, I trust Uzumaki Naruto and whoever he trusts, I do as well. Ba-chan yells to the crowd. Everyone held their breaths, waiting for the big secret to be revealed. Everyone knows that if everyone in the village had been gathered like this, it means it must be pretty crucial and most importantly, trustable. Uzumaki Naruto, as everyone knows, had been missing a couple weeks ago. Everyone nods. In fact, he had been turned into a child and was taken to the Akatsuki's hideout. The murmurs started again. Figures. Most the village don't know what the Akatsuki are yet. The Akatsuki are a group of S-class missing nin. Ba-chan says, dropping the bomb. Startled cries were heard from people down below. But Naruto had somehow melted the Akatsuki's hearts and have even considered them family. Many people chuckled at this, knowing that it was a thing that I would do even accidentally. I will inform everyone WHO or in this organization later. Now I would like to warn everyone that Naruto intends to bring the rest of his family into Konoha. And yes, for those WHO picked it up when I said, rest of them, it does mean that a few of them are now here. Is that our cue? D-Day asks. No shit, he scoffs. Every Akatsuki member present stepped up and showed themselves in front of Konoha. I gasped. No one said they were gonna reveal themselves so soon. I hear the crowd gasp at the sight of the recognizable figures. Naruto is now going to send a chakra flare that would call in the rest of them. Brace yourselves. Ba-chan yells and steps down. She turns around and grips my shoulder. Do it, she says. Now? I thought we were only going to inform them? I exclaim. No, now, do it, she says and pushes me forward into the vision of the whole of Konoha. I gulp and sucked in a breath. I notice D-Day, Sori, Kuzu and Daddy give me warm encouraging smiles. I raised my chakra levels and made it pour out of the village heavily. I felt a few familiar startled chakra spikes within the chakra that I had unleashed. The chakra signals started heading towards me at a fast pace. They'll be here in about 2 to 3 hours, give or take. But Toby will be here now. I say. Noted, Daddy says. Everyone is to be back here in 2 to 3 hours. When I dismiss you in 10 minutes. There was a round of hi-s before everything went silent again. And suddenly a vortex-looking thingy appeared in front of me, still in the line of vision to the whole village. Little fox, are you hurt? Did somebody hurt you? Are you dead? Toby yells out in panic and pats me up and down, making sure I wasn't injured anywhere. Toby, I'm fine, I yell in embarrassment. Oh, that's good. Then what the hell were you thinking? What's with the chakra flare? He yells and hits me on the head. Ow, Toby. I whine as I clutch my head. That's what you get for worrying me, he says with a scoff. All of Konoha was quiet as they didn't know how to react. Toby seemed to have just noticed his surroundings because he turned around and looked at the crowd. Yo, he says casually to the crowd. I couldn't help but think of Kakashi-sensei when he said that. Everyone's sweat drops and some even fall to the ground in disbelief that this guy was a S-rank missing nin. Some that recovered from Toba's greeting, chuckled at his previous motherly behavior. Okay, dismissed. You guys get it. Naruto's POV. Even though they were dismissed, no one moved. I shrugged, then I sweat drop as Toby ruffles my hair. You've grown so much. My cute little fox. He awes. Toby, I'm not a baby anymore. I pout. I'm so sad I didn't get to see you grow up. He ignores my pout and decided to hug my head to his chest. Toby, I whine as I give up. Poor puppet. I hear Sasori mumble. Shut up, Sori. I pout even further. Who taught you these vulgar words? D-Day hits my head and glares at all the ninjas surrounding us. D-Day cracks his knuckles and sends sweet smiles to the surrounding ninja. They all shiver in fear. Who here taught my cute little pipsqueak such words? He asks. Clay exploding in the background. Hayate explained what F*** was to him once. Azumo accused and points at Hayate. Azumo, Teme. Hayate-sen, I do hope he was of legal age at the time. D-Day says. Hayate pales several shades. D-Day, stop being a mum and scaring the poor ninjas. I pout again. Of course, anything for you pipsqueak. He cheers and pats my head. All ninjas sigh in relief. Hayate the most. Naruto, come help me with my clay. They're getting everywhere. D-Day yells as he tries to pick up a few clay bits that he had exploded to scare the ninja. Really? But I'm busy. I whine. D-Day stops everything and turns around slowly. Who raised you? He asks. You. I mumble. Who taught you how to talk? He asks. You. I mumble again. Who took care of you when everyone else was being assholes? You. Who did you go to first when everyone scolded you for doing the wrong thing? You. And you're saying you can't help me with a single task? Okay, fine. I grumble. Don't use that tone on me, young man. He hits me on the head. D-Day, I pout. He gives me a look and I start picking at the clay bits on the floor. I suddenly felt warm arms wrapped around me. Fishcake, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you? I hear the familiar voice of Uncle Carrot. You Uncle Carrot? I exclaim and turn my head up. How did you get here so quickly? There's a tracking device on the ring I gave you. As soon as you left, I followed it. To be honest, it was supposed to be there because when you were a child and decided you wanted to cause some trouble then hide, I would be able to find you immediately. He admits, traitor, there wasn't anything fun at the hideout. I had to do something. I cross my arms. He pats my head and chuckles. Leader Sama. The Akatsuki members respectfully nod, catching the attention of everyone. Pain nods back. You are the Akatsuki's leader? Ba-chan asks as she walks forward from chatting with Shizune. I am, he replies. What is the goal of Akatsuki? Ba-chan asks. Pain was about to say something, but was cut off by Toby. Actually, he starts, serious for once. I can explain. Everyone looks confused. Is this a part of how your real name isn't Toby? I ask. Toby nods. What is going on? Ba-chan asks. Toby takes a deep shuddering breath. I'm sorry in advance, Kakashi. Toby says, turning to Kakashi. Kakashi raises an eyebrow as to why he was singled out. Toby raises his hand to his mask and slowly takes it off. My name is Uchiha Obito and no, I'm not dead. This is also not a genjutsu. Obito says, revealing his face to the whole village. There were audible gasps as well as some confusion. Why? It can't be. Kakashi stutters, not finding the right words. Obito smiles slightly. What's the matter, Kakashi? Dog got your tongue? Obito grins. Kakashi blinks before slouching. It's Obito alright. Only he would say that. Kakashi says, pulling his headband off his eye to check if it really was him. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Obito exclaims. He was ignored. The village all rose in uproar at the sudden reveal. And Uchiha? There was another? Who's that? Uchiha Obito? Daddy looks at Obito before shrugging. You finally reveal yourself. He says. Wait, you knew? Obito exclaims. I saw you without your mask when I was supposed to collect Naruto from you. Daddy says. In the corner of my eye, I saw Ba-chan face palm. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. First Naruto goes missing. Then we find out he got turned into a baby. Then we find out the Akatsuki had been taking care of him. Then one by one the Akatsuki start appearing in the middle of the village. Then a supposedly dead person comes back to life, but he wasn't really dead in the first place. But what do I know, am I right? She mutters. I sweat drop. Ba-chan? You're rambling. I blink. Shut it, you. She mock glares at me. I squeak and hide behind D-Day. See? The first person you come to when you want to hide is me. D-Day sighs. It was instinct. Not my fault you look girly. I retort. Come here, you brat. D-Day growls, turning around to grab my head. I duck and run towards my favorite person's arm. Daddy, save me. I yell, running into his arms. Deidara, I suggest you choose your next move wisely. Itachi says, putting protective arms around my head. D-Day clicks his tongue and turns away. I couldn't help but giggle. Now what? I ask Itachi. Now we wait for the rest of the members. He replies. Who do you think will come next? I exclaim excitedly. Something quickly wraps around my arms, waist and legs, dragging me out of Itachi's arms and towards a nearby tree. Sunshine, you okay? Did Konoha hurt you? What happened? Sue's voice rings behind me. Sue? I'm fine. I wiggle. Then why did you flare your chakra? I thought you were in a life and death situation. Sue exclaims. I whistle innocently. Toby was about to explain why he wanted to take over the world. I say, trying to change the topic. He's trying to take over the? Oh right, I can explain. It's not his fault. Sue says as he steps forward, then he notices all the villagers and the white half of him squeaks. Excuse me? What's going on? Ba-chan asks. Well actually, I started everything. Black Sue starts. Let me get this straight. Tsunade holds up her hand. She then points to Zetsu. You are an over 100-old person tree plant thingy with two personalities and you manipulated the Uchiha Madara to prepare for taking over the world. Then he dies and you decided to manipulate a genin that was on the verge of death, gave him false hope of creating a new world because reality was fake, scarred him by getting his best friend to kill his crush and then proceeded to get him to kill millions of innocents just for the fake world, but that wasn't your goal and you just wanted your mother back. Then you infiltrated the Akatsuki and brainwashed Pain to gather a whole bunch of S-rank criminals into also taking over the world for you. You also say your mother is the first person to get chakra, Kagaya. But then in the middle of all your well-planned out game, A blonde, ramen-loving idiot barged into your lives and broke the spell of whatever was brainwashing Uchiha Obito of creating a fake world and made you doubt the fact you, Zetsu, wanted to wipe humanity of its existence. Tell me again how you thought that was a good idea? Tsunade rubs her forehead as she points at Zetsu. Well, when you put it that way, it sounds stupid. Zetsu pouts. Yes, insanely so. Tsunade sighs. Wow, Su, you're ancient. Naruto snickers. Watch it, sunshine. Su glares at Naruto. Naruto eeps and runs behind his dad again. Dad, he yells in a not very manly voice. Okay, so we're just going to ignore the fact that these S-rank criminals had just tried to take over the world? Tsunade twitches in slight annoyance. Yes? Naruto blinks. Technically it wasn't Toba's or Uncle Carrot's fault. Yes, but it's your precious Su's fault. Tsunade reminds him. Naruto pouts. Are you sure he's alright upstairs? Tsunade asks, tapping her head, trying to get the question across. Of course he isn't. Who would be sane in the life of a shinobi, even more so when he witnessed how his mother got sealed up, apparently forever. Naruto replies with a scoff. Now I'm wondering if you're alright upstairs. Now that's just mean. Naruto anime cries. Tsunade sighs and turns to Pain. When do you think the other members are going to be here? Tsunade asks. In a few minutes or so. Pain replies. What? But I thought it would take them a few hours. Naruto pouts. You clearly underestimated the Akatsuki fish cake. Pain pokes Naruto's cheek. But nearly everyone's here already, right? Naruto whines. Kisame and Konan. Pain sighs. Well, I doubt Same will get here in a few minutes. Kon can fly, so I don't doubt her. But Same's just a fishy. Naruto puffs his cheeks out. What was that, you brat? A loud voice was heard below in the crowd. Same? Naruto yells in shock as he leans over the rail. Whoa, Naruto. Be careful. Itachi grabs Naruto's waist and pulls him close to his chest. I'm not a baby, Naruto frowns. You are to me, every Akatsuki member says. At the same time. How do they do that? Naruto makes a disbelieving noise before professionally imitating a fish. Kisame jumps up and out of the crowd, landing on the rail just in front of Naruto. Now, what was that about me being a little fishy, shrimp? Same asks, placing a hand on Samahata's hilt. Samahata ain't gonna attack me and you know it. Naruto grins smugly. Hearing his name, Samahata peeks over the head of his wielder and jumps up and down in joy as it spots Naruto. Naruto coos at the sword and hugs it in greeting. Since when did Naruto get so close with Samahata? Itachi asks. Oh yeah, you weren't there at the time. You were out on a mission with Deidara. Hidan clicks. Same visibly pales. No. Oh no. I thought we agreed to never speak of that again. Kisame yells. Did we? I don't think I ever replied. Hidan smirks evilly. What? Naruto asks. Nothing, shrimp. Kisame laughs nervously. Oh, was it that time when I had just arrived and you decided to use me as Naruto's mouth gets covered by Kisami's hand? Someone, explain. Deidara smiles. However, the aura he was emitting wasn't as calm as his smiles, and everyone knows when Deidara smiles like that, then you are in a hell of a lot of trouble. No, well, you see. Kisame twitches in panic. Come, sit down, I'll tell you. Hidan laughs and somehow gets the ANB used to trap Kisame so you wouldn't be able to speak, talk or move. Well, see. This happened after I had softened up for my poor little chibi. Hidan ruffles Naruto's hair. I don't see what the danger was. I was just standing there. Naruto raises an eyebrow. Hush, chibi. I'm telling the story. Flashback. Hidan whistles a tune as he walks towards the Akatsuki's training grounds. Now all I need you to do is to stand still right over there. Hidan hears Kisame say to Naruto. Denwa, is it gonna be fun? Naruto asks obliviously. Yep, we're going to have a lot of fun. Kisame grins and grabs Samahata by the hilt. What the hell are you doing? Hidan yells in panic. What? You know exactly what I was going to do. It's better if we kill the kid now. Kisame whispers harshly to Hidan. Why the hell would you do that? Hidan yells. Don't tell me you got soft. Kisame rolls his eyes. Soft isn't the word I would use. Hidan hisses. Whatever. Kisame says as he throws Samahata towards the unsuspecting baby Naruto. Naruto has been looking around at the ground because he thought he saw something shiny, and so he squats down and picks up the shiny thing just as Samahata flew above him. Are you crazy? Hidan yells and punches Kisame. No, you're crazy. Why let him live? Kisame yells back as he throws a punch back at Hidan. Pretty soon they got into a full-out fist fight. Samahata crawled towards Naruto and looks at the toddler with a questioning noise. Naruto giggles and shows the sword a piece of a katana. Wook Saihata. It pueti. Naruto grins. Samahata makes an agreeing sound before looking at the two adult men fighting like cats. Wanna stop them? Naruto asks. Samahata licks Naruto's cheek, also getting a lick of his chakra. Naruto knew but said nothing, in affirmative. A white. Naruto grins and grabs hold of Samahata's hilt. Said sword was already agreeing with the mind of his favorite toddler in excitement. Naruto rushes forward, Samahata in hand and lunges at the two. Stop! Naruto yells and swings down, Samahata hitting the ground with the force of a meteor, creating a gigantic crater in between the two arguing men. Said men were astounded by the toddler. He's so strong. What the asterisk. Hidan swears. He can wield Samahata? Wait, Samahata allows a puny toddler to carry him? Kisame gapes. Now, let's have fun. Naruto grins. It's certain to say, the training grounds were never quite the same. After that, Naruto had a few injuries but none too dramatic. Oh crap, Kisame says. Kisame and Hidan were sitting at the table in the kitchen, tending to Naruto's injuries. What? Hidan asks. Itachi and Deidara are going to be back soon and they aren't going to like the fact we let Naruto even go near a sword. Much less Samahata. Well shit. Hidan shrugs. Easy for you to say. You're immortal. Let's agree to never speak of this again. Kisame nods just as Itachi and Deidara walked in. Naruto had finished healing just as they had walked in. Welcome back. Kisame strains a smile. Hidan scoffs and Naruto runs up to his daddy. Daddy, I had so much fun today. Naruto whoops. That can wait for another day. Would you like to rest for now? Kisame asks hastily. Flashback end. Itachi and Deidara crack their knuckles and turn towards Kisame smiling ever so sweetly. Kisame's tears gathered in his eyes. So now all we have to do is wait for Khan. Naruto grins. Everyone nods in agreement, clearly ignoring a certain fishy that was now unrecognizable due to blue and purple bumps on his face. I wonder why? So how is this Konan like? I barely took a glance at her as a child when Jiraiya told us about them. I wonder how strong she is now. Tsunade asks. Khan is super pretty and she's like an angel. Naruto sparkles. Why isn't she the mum then? Deidara grumbles. Because she's the angel, Dide. Keep up. Naruto retorts. How is she like an angel? Tsunade asks. Well, she can fly and she's a messenger for Uncle Carrot. She's the definition of angel. Pretty, gentle, caring. Naruto explains. Am I? Well, I thank you for that compliment, Naru-chan. A shadow looms above everyone as a figure gently floats down on top of the rail. Khan. Naruto cheers. I apologies for being tardy. Did I miss anything of utmost importance? Khan asks. Nup. Naruto grins. Khan smiles at the ramen-loving blonde before going to pain and fretting about him before giving him a hug. Ah, Khan and Uncle Carrot sitting in a tree. Kissing. Naruto coos. The two clearly blush and stammer around, denying what Naruto had just sung. Now that they have all gathered, let's see what we should do with all of you. Tsunade rubs her forehead. Whatever the punishment Hokage-sama, I will handle it myself. Be it execution or even serving under you. Pain says, blush quickly disappearing. No, Ba-chan, please don't kill Uncle Carrot. Naruto lunges himself at his pseudo uncle and clutches to his arm. Naruto, no, I won't let you. You'll have to go through me. Ba-chan, old hag. Naruto, legendary sucker. Bad at gambling. Good for nothing but trying to look young even though it doesn't change the fact you're really over 50 years old. Naru, try hard. UGL. Naruto, shut up and listen. A loud bonk noise was heard before Naruto's cry of, Dad. Ba-chan hit me. Itachi and everyone else sweat drops before Itachi merely rubs the bump on Naruto's head with a smile and a, there. Those who are not going to be punished are Itachi, Kisame, Kakuzu, Hidan, Sasori, Deidara and Konan. What? No. What about Tobi, Sue and Uncle Carrot? Naruto exclaims. Obito in pain will be put under watch for 6 months. Zetsu will be put in one of the T&I cells for a week to get information before going under house arrest for another 2 weeks, then we'll have ANBUs watching him for the rest of the year. Tsunade says. But Ba-chan. No Naruto. Zetsu was about to destroy the world. Pain and Obito get off lightly because they were being brainwashed, and that's final. Tsunade says. Naruto scrunches his face up, trying not to cry as his nose twitches a little. If the situation wasn't so serious, everyone would have cooed. Okay. Naruto hangs his head. Tsunade gestures for the Anbu to take away the Akatsuki members. Wait, let me say goodbye to Su, please? Naruto begs. Very well. Make it quick. Tsunade sighs. Sunshine, don't cry. It's not like I'm dying. Zetsu says. But I won't see you for so long. Naruto hugs the tree man. Only 3 weeks and I'll be able to walk around again. Zetsu says. But Su, you're a tree. Trees need sunlight and water. What if they don't give you those necessary things? Watch it. Zetsu twitches with annoyance. And I do not need those things. Yeah, you do. Remember that time when I saw you outside sunbathing? Naruto pouts. Whoa, hey, I thought I told you that you couldn't tell anyone about that. Zetsu clamps his hand over Naruto's mouth. Naruto sends Zetsu a blank look. The ANBUs drop down beside Zetsu. See ya, sunshine, Zetsu says before they disappear in a sunshin. Bye, Su. Naruto mumbles. It was quiet for a couple of minutes. Dad, what's really going to happen to Su? Naruto asks. Nothing dangerous, he replies. Ba-chan, if a single hair is misplaced on Su's head, I will take Akatsuki and build a new village somewhere else. Naruto warns. The village pales at the words and look at how their Godem was going to respond. Don't worry, Gaki. I'll make sure nothing happens. She rolls her eyes. Good. Naruto smiles. Now, what were we going to do once everyone had gathered here? Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure. Tsunade says. You what? Naruto exclaims. Well, if you're so smart, then you figure out the pros and cons of this situation. Tsunade yells back. Well, then I will. Naruto retorts before squatting down immediately, pulling out a stick and writing on the ground. Having the Akatsukis here could mean a lot to us. Advantages would be that we'd have more manpower and possibly more Kekkei Genkei. There's also the fact that 3 supposedly dead people came back to life. The other not living people in Akatsukis don't count because they weren't justified as the dead. There's also the fact Dad is back in the village, so Sasuke gets a brother and I get my dad. But then again, Dad was never really a rogue nin in the first place, and he was eventually going to end up back here anyways, unless of course he somehow planned his death from the start. There's also another fact that having them around could do the villagers some good, as well as the Akatsukis that need some sort of human interaction. Namely speaking, Toby, Uncle Carrot, Hii, Dide, Sori, Same and Kuzu. But there are also many disadvantages, like the other countries would try to get the missing nin back and kill them because they're criminals. And the villagers should also react badly to the Akatsukis suddenly being added into the ninja ranks. The Akatsuki could be treated as outcast in the village. I certainly don't want that to happen. So the pros outweighs the cons. Meaning they're staying and everyone loves happily ever after. Naruto rambles. If you manage to read the whole thing and make sense of it, props to you. Here's a cookie. Back to the story. They're staying, Ba-chan. Naruto announces happily. You can't just. How is that, Hua? Tsunade splutters. Ba-chan. It's very simple. They stay. Everyone happy. Yay. Naruto says. You know what I give up. Do whatever you want, Naruto. If you give me any more work, however, then you can say goodbye to your happy family. Tsunade says as she sighs and walks back into her office. Everyone dismissed? Naruto calls out to the village. Well, wasn't that anticlimactic? Toby huffs. I don't know whether or not you're acting or really acting like the Obito back in the days. Kakashi says. Hey, Bakashi, that's just rude. Obito pouts. I think it's really Toby. Naruto says. Ah, my little fox. Obito coos. Hey, back off. That's not how you treat him. Dide growls and embraces me from behind. Hey, he's a man, he can handle a little rough housing. Same laughs as he knuckle sandwiches my head. Come on, fishcake. Uncle Carrot says and pulls Naruto into his arms. Naru-chan, you'll want to hang out with me, won't you? Kon smiles and ruffles Naruto's head. Hey, what about me? He whines and pulls Naruto out of Kon's hands. You'll teach him vulgar things, so no way. Kuzu glares at the Jushinist, pulling Naruto close to himself. Stop fighting. Otherwise I'll use my poison on all of you. Sori hisses and drags Naruto into his arms. Guys, stop fighting over my son. Itachi sighs and gently picks Naruto up and in front of him, placing his hands on Naruto's shoulders. I think I'm starting to regret my decision. Naruto grumbles. Dad! A loud yell was heard throughout the village. A certain black-haired male perked up as he heard the cry. What's wrong? Itachi asks the blonde that had attached himself to his father figure. Sasuke said that you don't love me anymore because I wouldn't agree to his spar. Naruto cries. Itachi sighs at his little brother that had walked behind his blonde son with his arms crossed. What? That's the only way I could get him to agree to spar with me. Sasuke grunts. You're lucky you didn't say that to Deidara. God knows what he'll do if you said that he wouldn't love Naruto because of a spar. Itachi says as he brushes Naruto's hair with his hand. Sasuke chokes slightly and shivers at the mention of a certain long-haired blonde. Anyways, he's always like this. Sasuke complains and gestures to Naruto, who actually had used henge to transform himself to a 4-year-old. Like what? Itachi asks. Every time he runs to you, he always looks like a baby. Sasuke says. 4-year-old Naruto gasps dramatically at that and cries louder. Dad, Sasuke called me a baby. I'm not a baby. Naruto wails. Sasuke. Itachi sighs once again. You know that he's more sensitive at this stage, so why do you have to make him cry? Sasuke scowls because he definitely was not pouting. You're always more lenient to him when he's like this. Sasuke mutters. Of course I am. How long do you think I've had to pretend he was my son a year ago? Itachi raises an eyebrow. Touché. Sasuke sighs. Itachi. A loud yell was heard before something blonde crashed into the poor man, gripping his shirt tightly. Deidara. Itachi groans out a greeting. Where is he? My Naruto senses was tingling. He's crying, isn't he? I bet it's your brother's fault. Deidara exclaims before noticing the crying baby in Itachi's arms and snatching the younger blonde up. Oh, my baby. No. Who made you cry? How does he know all that? Sasuke whispers to his brother. No one knows, but we all call it his mother instincts. We still don't know if it's some sort of seal that goes off whenever Naruto cries or not, but whatever it is, it's impressive. Itachi responds. You can say that again. Sasuke says as he and his brother watch Naruto get babied by Deidara. How long does this go for again? Sasuke asks. Itachi shrugs. Thanks. That's helpful. Sasuke says sarcastically. It really depends. We're lucky if it only lasts 2 hours. But sometimes the others would come and either break his coddling up or make it worse by joining in. Itachi informs. Little fox. Obito yells and snatches the baby from Deidara's arms. Is Deidara being a mother again? Naruto giggles. Obito. Don't hold him above your head like that. It's dangerous. Deidara scolds. Oh come on, you take him flying on your bird clay. Obito whines. Before Deidara could retort, Hidan swoops in and carries Naruto by the end of his scythe. That's not how you carry a baby. Deidara, Obito and Itachi yell. And before Hidan could retort, Naruto was swept up by a chakra string and into the arms of Sasori, who was standing behind Sasuke. Hey puppet, how have you been? Sasori greets. Hi Sori, everyone's fighting. Naruto grins and points a chubby finger at the group of former Akatsuki members fighting about how to hold a baby. I see. I hope this wasn't on purpose. Like last time, Sasori stressed the last sentence. Naruto merely smiles, innocently. Right, Sasori sighs. I'm going to have to punish you for starting this again. What? You can't do that. Naruto exclaims. Yes I can. No ramen for a week. But, it's not all my fault this time. Sasuke helped too. Last time you said, if you ever do this again then I'll punish you. And technically I didn't do it. Sasuke made me cry. Naruto tries to explain. Hey, don't push all the blame on me. You were the one who said, wouldn't it be fun if they argued and got in trouble again? Because last time's World War V wasn't enough for you, was it? Sasuke glares. Technically it wasn't World War V. Naruto mumbles. Try saying that to all the bombs, jutsus, taijutsus, genjutsus and people flying about the whole village. Hokage-sama literally had to call all the other Kage to stop the war because you started it by saying that you got to play with a shark the last time you went swimming. Sasuke scoffs. Naruto rubs the back of his head sheepishly. He did remember that. Wasn't very pretty. He couldn't help it when he had an overprotective mom and a laid-back uncle who let him swim in the lake outside of Akatsuki's base, and he certainly couldn't help that Hidan was bloodthirsty. Kisame trying to stop the war with extreme water just you. Itachi trying to stop everyone by putting them under genjutsu. Sasori trying to stop everyone by connecting them to his chakra string. Kakuzu trying to stop everyone by using overpowered elemental jutsu. Pain trying to stop everyone by using his Rinnegan. Obito trying to stop everyone by phasing through the ground and throwing his own jutsus, and 5 Kage flying around trying to stop the world from ending. This is what happens when you befriend a bunch of S-rank criminals and put them all in one village. Naruto. Sasuke sighs. Naruto merely smiles before watching the fight again. Somehow, while Sasuke and Naruto were talking, everyone else got involved. Be glad Tsunade-sama isn't involved with this, Sasuke says. Naruto puffs back to his teenage form. Oh, the only reason why she isn't involved in this is because I told her that she could just eat Kage Bunchins to complete the paperwork. She doesn't want even more paperwork, so she rather not get involved. Naruto says, checking out his nails in case he broke one. Broken nails aren't good for throwing kunai and shuriken accurately. Sasuke's sweat drops. Something about having to deal with everyone's bullshit again, and then having to fill out a piece of paper for all of them, and then having them traced just to figure out how everything started, and then all her work would have gone to waste because it was always something involved with me where they fight. Naruto sighs. Not surprised. Sasuke waves a dismissive hand. They watch as the verbal fighting got a little more intense. Hey, where'd he find the desk? Naruto asks. Hidan. That desk was filled with my completed paperwork. You mother, at $%. A loud crashing noise was heard throughout the whole village. However, the village had already gotten used to the amount of chaos in the past year, so they went on about their lives normally and tried to ignore the large gaping hole in the middle of the village. It'll get fixed soon anyways, just for it to be blown apart again. Naruto laughs at all the entertainment while throwing a bunch of popcorn in his mouth. Where'd you get the popcorn? Sasuke asks. Naruto looks at the popcorn bucket in his hand before shrugging and offering some to his friend. Sasuke looks at the popcorn before looking at the destruction and shrugs as well, grabbing a handful and shoving it in his mouth. Naruto and Sasuke count down the seconds before Konan appears and wraps everyone up in her paper, besides the Hokage. At the end of the day, you could see a bunch of grown men kneeling in the middle of the street while the Hokage scolds them about the chaos they had created over a silly thing before someone says that it wasn't silly and the chaos starts again. Naruto sighs in content. His life was perfect. THSTA all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.